everyone? Welcome on back to the MEC, where we're ready to get into some more Smash action. My name's Travis C. I'm joined here with Captain Natsuka himself. Are you ready, Cat, to be able to get into some more Smash gameplay today?
Oh, I most certainly am. And I got to tell you, this has been a great week for the Midwest Esports Conference because we had two back-to-back days of top-notch Valorant, and now it is going to be a tough act to follow for Smash. I expect all the smoke, all gas, no breaks. We need to see some top-notch Smash here at the MEC, and I think we're going to get it today.
I mean, if we have anything from last week to go off of, we definitely have that in our future. You can take the crystal ball if you need to, but from the reference material that we got from last week, we got to see
I have
some
my
crazy
own crystal
matches.
ball, thank you.
Oh, yeah, just rub it on now.
Yeah, I got my own crystal ball, and I got to tell you, it is often wrong. So regardless, let's get ready to see what we got on deck for today. If we can get a quick look at our schedule, we'll let you know what we have brewing, especially for week 4. We're going to be starting out with Carnell versus Leland. What was that again?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Why did I say? I've been playing a lot of Texas Chainsaw. I'm sorry. So Cleveland State, yes, and they're going to be going through it today because they got 2 matches, and then if I'm not mistaken, we're going to be looking at one of their week 1 matches as well.
Yes, and it should be a very fun thing. We actually have a lot of Cleveland State on the stream today, so hey, let's go ahead and get into that first matchup. I want to go ahead and see what kind of damage can be done, as these are 2 teams that are top notch. Because I love to start off with a little bit of Terry, but they're also Cleveland had a great week last week. Game & Watch to start things off.
Oh yeah, give me Game & Watch. I love Game & Watch. We were actually going over this last week, or you know, just the absolute nuttiness that comes with Game & Watch, and also going back and reminiscing about the Game & Watch era where they were just like one of the top meta characters, and I love watching them play. So let's see if we can maybe take a trip down memory lane and have this Game & Watch pop off. But so far, it's just about even.
Yeah, you know, Game & Watch dropping bombs. That's cool. Terry punches with the force of a bomb, and that we're seeing that time and time again here. Terry needs to be careful about this, though. This can be a very difficult matchup, but go button is there. Great use there from Game & Watch. Really good decisive control.
And again, do you remember the era of Game & Watch, that Game & Watch era where like Game & Watch was never banned, and as far as my knowledge goes, they were never banned, but people hated going up against the good Game & Watch. They were considered OP a little bit back in the day, but now you can see not so much. We're tied back at 2 stocks apiece.
2 stocks apiece. Nice revenge KO. As Terry is a force to be reckoned with that they start going. We're seeing it time and time again, but this Game & Watch, gotta be careful. Give them an inch, they take a mile very, very swiftly, and by the end of it, you'll be playing those little mini games that the Game & Watch loves so much.
Yeah, speaking of, we saw they tried to take the hammers out, but it was a great block coming from the Terry, not giving way to those hammers. Meanwhile, you can see finally a good combo coming through, but unfortunately they missed the down. Now we're right back center, but Game & Watch 97%, very close to being eliminated.
Yeah, but good damage being chipped back onto the Terry. This Game & Watch got that smaller frame, and Terry not enjoying how the follow-up on some of those combos was. It's one of the weird things, but oh, there's that hammer. They have looked for it time and time again, and great finish up. Now Terry is down to their last stock. They're looking for a revenge stock of their own. They're going to be able to get it just yet, but now they have the ledge defense on their advantage here. Good stuff coming out.
Oh, absolutely. I'm surprised Game & Watch is still in this. Honestly, the MJB coming from Cleveland State doing a phenomenal job, but finally they do get eliminated on their second stock, and now we're all back down to 1.
Constantly blowing some air up into the face of Terry. This is in a spot where either side can take it. So far, priority feels like it has been to Mr. Game & Watch. They've been the one to be the first one to knock off a stock, and usually it's been Terry getting those revenge stock kills. So right now, Cornell, they need to figure out a way to decisively finish off this Mr. Game & Watch, because Game & Watch has had their number for quite a bit.
Yeah, and especially if they bring out that hammer again, but they're not gonna need it. A beautiful forward smash is gonna be all that they need to get the final stock and the win. And that is a clean 3 stocks now gone. And Cleveland State University, they take a pretty convincing lead.
That was really cool in terms of as a punish. It felt like that was something that the Mr. Game & Watch had actually kind of like downloaded the patch for how this Terry likes to play. Immediately knew what was coming over their way. They love to go into those jabs to confirm. And immediately just took advantage of the window. Remember, Mr. Game & Watch is one of those smaller frame characters, and that's somebody you play against every day. So, hey, Terry getting knocked out like that. And now the percentage switched over to 0. Let's see what the next bit of competition from Cornell College can be as, well, from Cleveland's. Oh, they flipped around. Got it.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a
Cornell.
second.
And honestly, it's one of my favorite characters too. I love Shulk, for the record. I love like the different arcs that they can use. And again, it's just so fascinating to watch them switch in between, because it's not like Hero when, you know, they have like random ability. And I hate to use the word random, but you know, it's not a plethora of abilities. They keep the same basic, I want to say like 5. And you know, you got the jump arc, speed arc. There it is. There's the speed arc being activated now. And again, this just being able to really navigate between each arc, I think is a whole nother skill. And that just makes Shulk play even more impressive.
This player is a very interesting one to me too when they play Shulk, because they tend to have 2 of those different arts that you're talking about that we see them go into all the time. Oh, that is very unfortunate, getting caught in a really bad scenario on that. Just wasn't able to make that recovery. That is rough. I was going to speak on the fact that this Shulk is usually the last person that gets sent out by Cornell. This is not somebody who normally comes in at the very beginning, which maybe signifies that they want to get this Mr. Game & Watch out of here, as this Shulk is not having a good time against one stock of Mr. Game & Watch.
Yeah, right now I think they're trying to navigate their arcs maybe just a little bit too much, because Game & Watch, they're catching them every single time that they're trying to switch. And now you can see the smash arc has been activated, but look, they're at 83% already in knockback potential. So I don't know. This is looking actually pretty good for the Game & Watch here.
It's Mr. Game & Watch is doing a great job keeping things in control. This Shulk, like I was talking about before, one of the things I've always noticed about them is they tend to go between 2 arcs. They will eventually like go into the smash and whatnot, but jump and speed is normal for them to want to go for, and we just see that time and time again as a little bit of a habit for this player. But ooh, good way to finish things off at 130%. Don't let any more damage be done. Cornell, they're only down this 1 stock in comparison to the second player to come out from Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, now we're all tied up. No, actually, no, because Cleveland State, they still have that 1 stock advantage because the Game & Watch was able to get a stock off of Shulk. And honestly, I don't know if they even expected that. I think they thought they were going to go into this one, take the first stock, be done with it, and then move into the next fight. Speaking of, let's get ready to see what the next fight is going to be as we get ready to see who this Shulk is going to have to go up against. But Solid Snake. I'm sorry, again. Love Solid Snake. Again, sorry, but to further your point in saying, like, yeah, they like to use the speed and they like to use the jump arc, but then it's when you get to that edge guard, when you force them off stage, that's when they switch to the smash arc. So again, you're right. They were trying to navigate the speed and the jump to try and force Game & Watch off stage, but Game & Watch was just refusing. And now I think this is going to be an even tougher battle as Solid Snake now steps into the ring.
Yeah, this Snake is pretty disgusting. One of the most notable players that we've had so far inside of the crew battles, inside the MEC, as this player has just been absolutely clean, tactical even, in regards to how they play this matchup out. And look at this on the ledge. That's so gross.
Yeah, and you know what's even interesting that I'm noticing about this particular Solid Snake coming from Cleveland State is that when I watch a lot of Snake gameplay, it's mostly just grenades, rockets, C4, the whole 9. One thing I'm noticing about this Snake is that they're a lot more melee oriented. I've seen them land a lot more melee attacks than other Snakes. And you know, they're using a lot of grenades, but I have yet to see a C4. And if it has been a C4, it's been lost in the sauce of all the grenades. Also, I've only seen 1 mortar strike, haven't seen the homing missiles come out yet. So again, this is a Snake that is not afraid to get up close and personal and lay down that melee damage.
Yeah, the C4 actually, he's been laying them out, and this is the scary thing. Nice KO onto Snake there, by the way. But this thing is very aerodynamic. They like to continuously jump in the air, throw those grenades down, as you were talking about. Those C4s tend to get mixed in with the grenades. We just saw a C4 pop right behind the head of this Shulk as well. So you could see Snake's trying to set something up. He's trying to set up a flurry of explosives. Nice use of the mortar. Get a little bit more damage in there, but gotta get that shield, get a little heavier because there's some explosive warfare coming your way, Shulk.
Oh, I love it. Again, the mortar strike coming out doesn't land, but again, that's what makes Snake so dangerous, is because their abilities, they hit very hard. And you know, when a player like Shulk, again, who likes to use the speed and the jump arc a lot, they rely a lot on those top platforms, but it's not a safe place when you're going up against a Snake, because not only do they have the mortar strike, but little do you know, there's probably a C4 planted there as well.
Yeah, it's always hidden in the sauce here. You can see it time and time again. Nice use of the shield. Give yourself a little bit more weight to be able to deal with the damage coming out. Good flurry of kicks as well, but there's those explosions yet again. Goodbye, goes Shulk. This Snake is so clean, but Shulk did take a stock off of Snake, and we've seen this Snake run through entire teams, so that could be damage done. That would be enough to put a crack in the dam that is this Snake.
Oh, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, like Shulk is definitely one of my favorite sorties. But with that being said, I feel like Snake was actually a really good counter pick to Shulk. And I think that was kind of what led to their defeat. I mean, Shulk is a great sortie no matter which way you cut it, but when you counter pick somebody, there's really not much that you could do about it, and that was just a good pick to get that Snake out for Cleveland State. But with that being said, we're getting ready to head into the next matchup. Let's see who Solid Snake is going to have to take on next. Coming from Cornell, it is Yoshi.
Yeah, we got Yoshi with the Tims coming at you. Snake, what you got for it? This is an interesting matchup just because of the fact that you have the jumping egg toss that you can constantly do as Yoshi to kind of confirm things from a neutral standpoint, as well as have a little bit of zoning presence as yourself too. But I eventually you do want to get in. Those eggs don't do too much, and they do leave you open for Snake to kind of just do his own thing. So I do like that the Yoshi is in there, letting them feel the fury of the Tims.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's how you gotta, you know, go against Solid Snake. You can't give them much room. You gotta take the fight to them. And this is the hard part. You're trying to navigate your way through the nades, through the C4, and you're trying to get up close and personal to that Snake. But look, you have to literally walk a wire just to make it in. And then when you do, there's a grenade there waiting for you.
There's a grenade, there's a C4, there's a grenade, there's a C4, there's a grenade, there's a C4. It's just a constant cycle that is inevitable. But Yoshi's doing a great job navigating such, doing a good amount of damage already to this Solid Snake. Snake is not having a great time in this instance, as you can see. Great use going in, putting in the shields, rolling around, just navigating the explosions. Yoshi in a war zone. Who would have thought this would have been the threat that Snake needed to worry about?
Well, here we go. We're going off stage now. We already know Solid Snake, they can recover from almost at any depth. Actually, I'm pretty sure they can. I mean, their recovery is insane. But now you see Yoshi applying a little bit of that pressure on the edge guard. They're trying to catch up to them, but Solid Snake able to avoid the danger, at least for the time being, as now we're back center stage.
Yeah, back to the center stage. Good little toss there. Getting a couple more booms going in there, but both of them feeling each other. How? Whoa! They got a little bit of some action going back and forth between the two. They're feeling themselves still. Both sides trying to feel that CQC. Oh, good KO.
Poor Yoshi. I just love Yoshi so much. And like they make such the cutest little noises, and then to see them just get launched into the blast zone, it's kind of sad.
I mean, sad for Yoshi fans, for Snake fans, you could say it's such a thrill.
Oh, here we go. Right back to the action here. And Yoshi still have yet to get the revenge stock. And now look how much damage they have already taken. They are in knockback potential. They're in the red and nearly at 100%. And there you go. And it felt like that took no time at all. And still somehow Snake is holding on with 142%.
Yeah, this is the danger of Snake. They can build up that percentage so quick here as they continue to go throughout this. Nice KO yet again. The snake cannot get eliminated.
And you know what, Yoshi has already taken enough punishment from both Mario and Luigi. The last thing they need is to take all this punishment from Solid Snake. We need to have more mercy for Yoshi. My poor Yoshi. Also, you know, I have an actual like a T-shirt, and it's actually a Jurassic Park Yoshi T-shirt, and it's awesome. I wish I can wear it on stream, but you know, I like to wear my collared shirts. You know, I gotta look professional when we're bringing you some MEC Smash.
Yeah. You gotta bring out the the fresh drip. And right now we're 1-1 in terms of stocks here. This is big if Cleveland finishes this off. They do. This is a very decisive lead to be able to have. I'm gonna be real with you, Cap. I don't know if I look over and say, "Oh wow, there's one stock on a snake." That's great. I'm looking forward to going into that matchup. That's a hard matchup that can really knock off a stock very swiftly.
Oh, absolutely. And now the question is that how do you counter it? Because we already talked about, you know, like players like Shulk, you know, the Snake was a great counter pick, but what is the counter pick to someone like Solid Snake? I'm honestly would think it'd be somebody that's kind of like I don't even know. I mean, because I want to say Speedster, right? But then the Speedster, they can run face first into a lot of that explosives, a lot of that utility. So I'm going to be wondering what type of counter pick that we're going to see coming from the opposite side here on Cornell to really counter this Solid Snake, just to get that last stock off. Well, let's get ready to see what they are bringing to the match as we get ready to head into our next bout with Solid Snake, one stock remaining. Cornell, they bring out Robin.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. So Robin has a couple of good zoning tools to be able to lay in some chip, but you don't have anything to really confirm onto the snake is the biggest problem, especially with the way the snake likes to play. I think that's the thing that has me the most scared. Is just because of the fact that you need to decisively confirm, like, something. You need something that just confirms into something good for you as Robin. And your tools against Snake are very, very limited and hard to get to pop off the way you need to. You're really looking for those fully charged thunders or whatnot to be able to catch them at a higher percentage to try and force out that KO.
And well, right now you can see that it is Solid Snake going right back to work, taking the first stock. And my goodness, Cleveland State doing an absolute phenomenal job with this Solid Snake, still refusing to get rid of their last stock.
No, yeah, they're not going to very easily either. This is the worry that I have, right? You're playing the zone v zone game against a snake. A lot of your maneuvers that you actually have here, and as Robin, actually all of them, are all horizontal. You don't really have a lot of vertical that you can do, and this snake plays a lot of vertical game. They're constantly jumping, they're constantly throwing grenades up and down, they're utilizing that great recovery. Unless you can get up there and punish them by juggling them or something like that, which is hard to do because there's a barrage of arrows that are constantly flowing at you. It's a very, very hard matchup to actually go through.
Yeah, so what do you think would be the counter to Snake? Would it be someone like a Swordy or somebody that has like a little bit more reach? Maybe, you know, someone like a Min Min? Like, what is the counter to this? Because right now it's like Snake is untouchable.
You need somebody who's able to confirm into something big for him, right? You need something that gets a big decisive blow. Good use there, actually, from Robin. Big punishment coming in. And that was what I was talking about earlier on. I wanted to see, because the snake does play a vertical game, they do stay up into the air a lot. I think a good counter is to just look at this snake and say, oh, they're going to be jumping a lot. Let's take them up to the ceiling. They're doing half the work for you. Just carry them on through the ceiling up into the heavens, and there you go. Now, Robin has done a monumental task in a matchup that I did not favor. They did lose one stock inside of it, but now if they can do a bit more damage, get another character down, it's an even ball game again. Let's go ahead and see what the option coming out from Cleveland State is, as we've seen it. Oh, and there is the Bayonetta, which is fierce and very difficult for Robin to deal with.
Okay, now this is going to be interesting because we know Bayonetta a little speedy there, and also they do have some pretty good abilities. It's the Witch Time that is going to make me really nervous for this Robin. But with that being said, the Witch Time, pretty difficult to land. As already you can see, we're going right into the thick of it. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, Bayonetta would have been a good matchup against Snake. Because like you said, Snake is spending a lot of time in the air. And Bayonetta, they can just air combo for days. So let's see how this Bayonetta will stack up against a Robin.
Yeah, I like the idea of it because once you get in, this player coming out from the side of Cleveland State University, very good about utilizing those dash attacks, getting into your face, carrying you across. They don't use the witch time as much, but that is their bread and butter. That combo that we just saw there, they go for that constantly. Nice use of the Nosferatu as well at that current moment in time. Get a little bit of your HP back, get some damage on, but yet again, the pressure with those pistols right off the sides, those heals do all the speaking, and they shoot out lasers.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it was looking pretty dangerous. At first, I thought it was going to be enough to send the Robin into the blast zone, but no, they managed to hang on. And now back to center stage we go. A nice up tilt there just to land, and they go for another heavy, but it doesn't connect.
Such a rough scenario to be inside of. You can see the Robin is trying to find a moment. It is a hard thing to do if this Bayonetta is just constantly using the air. Like I said before, Robin's game is very horizontal. They do not have a lot of vertical accessibility. So if you're approaching them constantly from the air, it actually becomes a lot more difficult for the Robin to be able to grab you with any of those hits, unless they are looking out for it. But as you just saw there, nice throw. Take them off of the side there. Great stuff from this Bayonetta. And now it's time for them to start building up that percentage again.
Oh, absolutely, because you do not want to close this gap in forms of damage percentage, because if this Bayonetta can take this without dropping a stock, that is just going to give Cleveland a huge advantage. I mean, you're literally going to have like 3 other reserve players and only 1 remaining from Cornell. So again, right now, the name of the game is just trying to get as many stocks off as possible. But Bayonetta taking Robin to a trip all the way into the blast zone. And just like that, Cleveland State now have 3 players versus 1 in the advantage of the player count.
It's yet again, it's one of those different kind of issues that you don't expect to talk about too terribly much, because you don't talk about Robin, you don't see Robin too terribly often. But that verticality of Bayonetta, able to jump over the projectiles, get in the face, as you just said, carry him into the blast zone. This Bayonetta coming in fresh, looking at the last member from Cornell College. I'm curious on who it's going to be. If it's going to be the Cloud that comes out here, or oh no, it's the Incineroar actually to come about. This is a very interesting change in matchups.
Oh yeah, not mad at this pick at all. Been seeing a lot of Incineroar and been having fun every single time they come out. Again, gotta see some clotheslines, as already you can see the down throw does connect. Bayonetta gonna retaliate very quickly, applying the air combos, forcing Incineroar back up into the air. But luckily for them, we're on PS2 and they have some platforms to work with here.
Yeah, this is a pretty scary situation, though, because already you're at 87% SS Incineroar. Bayonetta's had complete control over the matchup. Really great utilization of these attacks, going in for dashes at the best possible time. And you can see the Incineroar is actually a little bit flustered at this current moment in time. They're actually just trying to constantly go for these counter hits. But there's that witch time that you were looking out for. Incineroar not appreciating any of it, and this Bayonetta only used 28% of their percentage to get that to happen.
Oh yeah, so we do remember the era of Bayonetta as well, you know, back in the gap when Bayonetta was also that character. Meanwhile, there goes the clothesline. Nearly able enough to confirm there, but still, Bayonetta gonna be holding on until finally, there they go, out into the blast zone, and we have ourselves a 2-2 stock.
Good answer back from this Incineroar. You need to be doing a lot more of that. Remember, Bayonetta speedster, right? They have multiple dashes that they're able to go through, constantly going to be in your face. Hey, listen, that's within punching distance for this Incineroar, but the Incineroar needs to stop getting punched right now. They just got carried all the way to the blast zone. That was a vacation that this Bayonetta was happy to be the bus driver for.
Absolutely took you all the way up. But with that being said, Bayonetta still performing extraordinarily well. But keep in mind, Cornell literally have 1 stock to their name. This could be it. This could be the end, as this Bayonetta is just going to work. And that's the interesting thing about Bayonetta, is that they really don't have the most knockback potential unless they land one of those big heavy fists. Other than that, they're just trying to apply as much damage as possible until you cannot take it anymore. And then they carry you all the way up into the blast zone. And down goes Cornell.
Cornell, they send off the Incineroar. Incineroar is going to go off and see Arceus for a bit. That was a brutal display from this Bayonetta. This Bayonetta was clean as can be. And yeah, it was just a really good display. Really and truly. Yet again, Cleveland State University. Being the school, I have been probably the most impressed with seeing how they've kind of grown. A lot of their players have become really terrifying. So Cleveland State, looking like the raid boss on campus here. We're going to take a quick moment, send it over to a short break. And when we come back, we'll be going into our next matchup. So do not touch that browsers. We will be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome on back to the MEC. My name's Travis. I'm joined here with the Captain Saka as well. Here, Cap, are you ready? We just saw a very, very good series coming out from Cleveland State. Now, going into our second series of the day, we get to see another one of our schools going against another one of those rising star schools that have been trying to put up those numbers for the team.
Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it and see what the matchup is going to be. We have Miami Esports taking on a Campbellsville University, and we're going to have a King Dedede versus a Lucina.
Well, they're doing a button check right now, I believe. They're just gonna, so we might not. I know Campbellsville does have does have somebody who plays this, right? But Miami, I don't think they play King Dedede. So I think this is just a button check. We should be able to get to the right spot there. We'll go back once they are ready for us to get into the actual heated action. But it's very curious if that is the matchup. I don't recall if Miami has anybody who has that. I feel like it's like Kirby, Ice Climbers. Let's just see. Let's just see. Go ahead. Let's see. Miami, what do you have for us? Oh, it's Young Link.
Oh, what happened here? Young Link and Little Mac. Full disclosure, Young Link is like my favorite sortie. I absolutely love watching Young Link go to work, and honestly, I think this could be a good matchup. Very dangerous, though, because, again, it doesn't take too much to throw Link into the blast zone, and Lil Mac, as we know, has some great knockback potential. However, Young Link really good at keeping players at a distance, and they have a lot of utility to use, so they might be able to get the upper hand on this Little Mac. Again, this should be a great first match.
Yeah, I want to see some more of those fire arrows. Keep throwing out that boomerang just like this. You want to constantly keep up the pressure like this, like you were talking about. Get those bombs mixing in there as well. And you can see Young Link over here. They're keeping their range here. They know exactly what they need to do. They do get into a punching range, immediately get sought. That should be the story of this matchup here. KO Punch is now available, and Little Mac is feasting for it.
Yep, and that KO punch now null and void, but still, at any damage percent, the knockback potential from Little Mac onto Young Link could be devastating. But right now, again, Young Link doing a fantastic job of keeping Little Mac at bay, and that's all they're gonna need to get the first stock from Miami Esports.
That was a very just clean assortment of things. And look at how beautifully this has been played, right? 40% in comparison to what the Little Mac's gotten. Little Mac is going through bullet hell right now. And it's this Young Link who's doing it, constantly throwing the boomerangs, constantly throwing out bombs, keeping the range at a perfect distance here, using the boomerang constantly to confirm. And we are seeing this time and time again now. Projectiles go in, confirm it. There he goes. Goes in there, goes for a couple slashes, respect the KO punch, tries to play the ledge game, and blows up that KO punch so Little Mac won't be able to utilize it.
Would it even be far-fetched to say that Link is like a pseudo sortie, because they have so many zoning abilities as well, being able to really open with a lot of the projectiles, especially the boomerang and the flame arrow, and then they follow it up with the melee attacks. Again, the up tilt there, center stage, nearly put Little Mac into the blast zone. But now, finally, Little Mac able to put Young Link off stage, looking for the edge guard, but no, the recovery comes through.
It's always an interesting discussion, because you always think of Young Link. You see him holding that sword and shield. Hey, look, they can get you up with it, but you also can get socked in the face very quickly. These bombs, these boomerangs, these arrows, they're doing the damage. The percentage has been built up still, and even though it cost him a stock, that might have been good for him. Nice hit to be able to launch Lil Mac up into the skies, but Lil Mac is looking for that decisive hit to finish things off. They're going to be able to get it with this throw.
Yeah, nice forward throw just to end things there. And again, the revenge stock comes in kind, and not much loss either. 7% damage, and already Young Link going right after the final stock of Little Mac.
You can see it going for those up airs constantly, actually, on the aggression. Whenever Little Mac finds himself onto one of those platforms, making sure that they cannot rest. And now we got the bombs here. Get those pop up. Little Mac can't move. Little Mac is stuck constantly defending the onslaught here. This is not the kind of match they would sign up for in the squared circle.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind that knockout punch. It's already gone. I was going to say that can definitely turn things around. But again, whenever the knockout punch comes out, you can see that's when we get the most zoning from Young Link. They don't even care. They just want to keep Little Mac as far away as possible.
Oh, interesting. interesting punish there actually coming out. Only got caught up in the sauce of up being and immediately got punished. Little Mac looking for something on the edge. And Link, relatively light character, wants to finish things off. Good punch, an uppercut right to the chin, 1-1. And with Rage, actually, Little Mac is actually in a good position. If they can find a good onslaught, especially since KO is halfway done, they can find something, but that throw is going to set up for a devastating combo here. Nice grab on the bomb, but the trap was laid by a Link, and the bomb in the hand of Little Mac stops the throw from continuing forward.
Yeah, all it's going to take is just one solid hit now, and there it is! The sword, and I want to say that's their down smash, if I'm not mistaken, being able to come through and get that final limb off of Little Mac. Just a fantastic showing coming from both sides so far. I mean, it was pretty deadlocked even for a pretty long time, and it was only decided by one stock.
Yeah, no, it was really good stuff coming out from both sides, and I love this from Campbellsville University. This is another one of the teams. Campbellsville was the team I was talking about. That was the team I kind of have been keeping my eye on as one of those rising schools, right? We have Cleveland State University, who's been very impressive. We have Miami, Ohio University, who they're playing against, who's been ever so dominant inside their matchups. Campbellsville taking an early lead inside of this crew battle is good to see. See what the answer from Miami is going to be, as they see that there is a young Link, and they say, all right, sure, we'll go retro too. Here's the Falco.
I'd love to see it. And you know what? I've been seeing a lot of Falco picks, actually, a lot. So again, I think this is actually going to be a pretty good matchup, considering that Falco is pretty speedy. And, you know, they're like Little Mac in that regard, but at the same time, you know, they have a little bit more to work with, I would say, than Little Mac does. Little Mac, you already know what they're going to do. You know, they're just going to be running in. They're going to go for a lot of these punches, whereas Falco, they do have a little bit of versatility. So let's see how this Falco will stack up against this young Link.
An interesting dynamic. Falco has the tools to be able to get in there and really mess up a lot of the plan. I actually really like the idea of Falco into this, especially because the reaction that I've actually noticed from this young Link is once you do get in, they tend to up B or throw. They tends to be their go-tos if you are able to get into them. So if you can punish those, and trust me, Falco has the ability to punch those. If they're able to actually go in for the side Bs and then immediately go for those juggles like that, it's easy as can be.
Oh, there you have it. Falco able to come through and not even drop a stock, able to put to bed the young Link. And now we got ourselves another matchup coming, because again, that Falco was looking pretty strong. And I got to tell you, I'm really hoping that, you know, the opposition will be able to come up with something that can match or even counter this Falco, because if we're going base just off of that one stock, they're going to be a tough opponent to beat.
I do think it's also a case in the matchup, right? Like young Link into Falco. I do favor Falco if the Falco is able to move around really good. Like they're just good in movement. This Falco has been very clean in the past. We've seen it time and time again from Miami, Ohio. Very clean, very good movement, very agile. Keep that up. And I think if you're Campbellsville, you're looking for something that's able to slow down the roll for this Falco. Don't let them just freely side B. They love that side B. So you want to make sure that you control them, make it to where you can limit their mobility options. Campbellsville, I hope they don't pick up something like the Cloud or something like that at this moment in time. I want to see them actually go for something that gives them a little bit of that mid-range control, like the Poly or something like that. Let's see what they got.
Let's see what they're going to be bringing to the table, and it's going to be Palutena. And actually, I'm kind of okay with this. I actually do like the zoner going up against this Falco here, because again, Falco, they really like to run in and try and get those up tilts going. But with Palutena, they should be able to keep them at bay for the most part. But all that remains is the actual bout to take place. So here we are on Hollow Bastion, as it will be Palutena taking on Falco.
I love this. This is the matchup I was calling for. So, you know what? I like the Poly as a response. I know Campbellsville has a Poly player in their roster, so this is the right time to call him out. I do think if you're able to get those fireballs out, it could be a pretty good combo. And they are very well versed at actually dealing with rushdown attempts. So I do think that this is a Poly player who is just very comfortable playing their character. You do need to watch out. Percentage has built up. Poly is a lot heavier than what a lot of people assume. They always look at this and go, oh, yes, it's the zoner who has this stuff. They actually have a little bit of weight to them, so they're not as easy for Falco to find that elim. They're going to be looking for a lot of those juggles inside of it, and Ollie also just has fantastic recovery.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully, you know, don't let Paulatina hear you say that she's heavy. I don't know how she'd feel about that, but regardless,
It's the shield. It's the shield.
It's the shield. It's all the shield, right? And the scepter. I mean, that's a pretty big scepter. It's probably really top heavy too. But with that being said, first stock already gone in the favor of Paulatina, and the revenge stock should be right around the corner. We'll see if they can confirm.
Yeah. Polly's a very devastating player. We were at the LAN event at the very start of the season, right before the MEC official season started up. We had a moment where this Paulatina player actually turned around and got the nickname Polygod from us here on the casting booth, because they were just so good at being able to control the paces, despite what their percentage would show. This is a player who ran through multiple stocks at a time, very quickly, very effectively. Falco cannot rest. And they do not rest. They make sure to send Polly up into the blast zone.
Yeah, and that was a great use of dodges there. They were dodging that fireball. Unfortunately, they couldn't dodge it again, as that will land and, cause a massive amount of damage. And right now, Falco looking like they are in danger here at the 100th percentile. They are in elimination potential here. Paulatina keeping that Falco over there towards the edge. And there's the fireball again. Falco having a difficulty getting around that.
It's a hard ability to get around if you are Falco. It is the sad truth of it all, right? It is a very big ability. Falco's game plan is trying to go for that aerial offense, right? Utilize that faster mobility that you have. You are that speedster that can move around so very swiftly. That fireball takes up a considerable amount of it. And characters like Falco do not appreciate just the raw fireball coming out here. You can even see a little bit of ledge guard there. Polly always taking that scepter and just checking the fingers, making sure that the grip is actually there. Oh, Falco, that was dangerous, but I love it.
160%. Falco still standing and going to be applying that damage to Paulatina. And if they're not careful, they can even things out here. But Paulatina is still going to be guarding here towards the edge, looking for the up tilt. Falco couldn't land it. And I'm only just waiting and anticipating when that stock will be confirmed. And there it is. Falco now down to their last.
Always making sure there's good use of saying, all right, you know what? If we're going to move past each other, we just throw this out real quick. You're at a high enough percentage that just one touch is all it takes. And now Falco's in this situation where percentage can start building up onto them. Remember, this is pretty much even. It's the same amount of players. It's just one stock advantage for this Polly. Polly can actually build up so much percentage so quickly now, and possibly getting another elim onto Falco without losing their second stock, which will be big for Campbellsville to continue keeping some of that advantage that they built for themselves at the beginning.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Paulatina is now gone, and we have ourselves a one stock v1 stock. 50% though onto Falco, but in all honesty, that's not that big of a disparity to overcome.
No, not at all. This is check this out. Going to go ahead and mix up Falco a bit there, laying a little bit more hurt onto him. Good shots coming in yet again. And you can see Falco really just putting in a good amount of work here, laying in onto this last stock. Good use of the airs. Probably can't get actually the distance that they want. They need to get back and throw up a couple more of these pop shots, but it's not going to happen today. Falco comes out on top in Miami, Ohio. They're going to be the ones walking into the next matchup with advantage.
Yeah, and again, that was great from the Falco. I mean, you got to keep in mind, they've been going through two players now from the side of, I'm sorry, it was Miami, Ohio, and then... Oh, Cornell! I knew it. I got it. Cornell.
Campbellsville.
Campbellsville. Oh man, it's something with this. I knew it was something with a C, and I confused my Cornell and Campbellsville. My apologies. I have to remember, because Campbellsville is like soup. So that's how I'm going to remember it from now on. Also Tigers, because they have a tiger as their logo. I don't know how I'm going to relate that to Campbell's, but I'm going to try my best. Regardless, we're getting ready to head into the next match. My waffling aside, as it has been called. Let's get ready to head into our next matchup to see who Falco's going to go up next. I mean, they already taken down two. Let's see if they can take down one more. But I will say, I don't think they're going to be able to take a stock off this Rob. Rob again against Falco. Again, it's a good matchup, and honestly, I think, you know, Rob is just going to be able to take this one pretty quickly.
Statistically, right? Like, if you think about it, sure. I can see a world in which what you're talking about, right? Like, Rob has a lot of really good tools that Falco just does not appreciate. Falco also has a couple in their own arsenal, right? And if we do see this Falco actually get in there and start getting those juggles going, right? They're starting to get up and get some CQC going, bots out this Rob, and don't let them play like that mid-range game where they're throwing out the gyros, constantly looking for those. Just like this, you know, I can see a world for this Falco to be able to take off the stock and keep that advantage going for him, because that's the main objective here. Look at this. Look at that. Falco is only taking one stock.
Yeah, that's what we like to call the Captain Caster's curse. That's exactly what just happened. But, you know, regardless, the reason being I'm biased just because I really like Rob. You know, again, you know, they're just the robotic operational buddy or whatever the acronym is. I forget what it is, but still love Rob. And finally, it looks like they're going to be able to take that stock. And that's honestly something they could have done from the first stock. But if they played with their food a little bit, maybe. But regardless, it is going to be able Rob to take that final stock off of Falco. And unfortunately, it cost them a stock as well.
Well, hey, look, on the bright side of things, Miami, Ohio, they continue to keep their lead in favor of themselves, right? There is a stock advantage going into the Nets to match up, and Rob's got to be kicking himself a little bit there. Was not ready for the up B coming out from Falco to finish things off stage, so got to keep your eye out for that. Let's go ahead and see who the next one is, because Miami, Ohio has a lot of scary players, and this is one that was terrifying to me right out the get-go. We got the MEC Brawler.
Well, let's get ready to see how this one's going to work out. I mean, we got to see some MEC Brawler last week as well, and I do believe this is the same MEC Brawler that we saw from Campbellsville University. Let's see how they're able to do as we get this one underway.
Check it out here, Miami, East Ohio. This MEC Brawler that comes out from Miami is insanely clutch. Watch out for a lot of those primary Lotuses to be able to come about. They love those. They love to also throw out those bowling balls quite often as well. And look at that. That's so smooth. This MEC Brawler is actually too clean.
Yeah, starting off insanely strong and now going for a big, well, it looked like they were going for a down throw for a moment, but they're going right back center stage, going right into the face of this Rob, and they just can't find a way around every single time they go for a strike. That MEC Brawler just lands their hit first.
MEC Brawler is just really fast. They're very agile. They're moving around very cleanly. Campbellsville University, they need to find a way to be able to get the pace back into their favor, but the percentage building up the way it has, this MEC Brawler might carry this over to a 3-stock advantage for their side if they're not careful. Rob's already in the triple digits.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, you're looking at this, and they're about to get lapped on their last stock. Actually, they've been lapped. I mean, who are we kidding? Like, they have been lapped already by this MEC Brawler, and I honestly think that they should be able to wrap this one up nicely. I mean, this MEC Brawler has not had a problem landing massive smash attacks, and they're, oh no, they nearly were able to get it with the forward air, but no, somehow Rob is holding on, but they can't dodge the, is that a cannonball? Like, what is that they just threw?
It's time to go bowling. It's time to go bowling,
It's a
cousin.
bowling ball.
Pick up the phone. It's time to go bowling, cousin. Miami, Ohio coming in. They bring out the MEC Brawler. They got the Kill Bill uniform on. They are feeling fresh, dripped out, and now it is Campbellsville who has to come out and take on the MEC Brawler in this net stock with 3 stocks. For the first time inside of this, we actually have a very decisive stock advantage in favor of Miami, Ohio. It's been Campbellsville who started things off hot. Now, Miami switched momentum around. Let's see. Campbellsville, what do you got for us? Is it going to be the Cloud that you have? The King K. Rool?
Yes.
King K. Rool is the option.
Thank you. I was literally getting ready to say, where are the heavies at? I want to see a heavy. Like, that's what I've been waiting for. Not only that, but we got these bowling balls, but at the same time, you have the musket coming from K. Rool. So again, we're going to have a lot of fun on this one.
Got that blunderbuss. That stomach is also going to be huge inside of it to stop some of the offense. Didn't see any primary Lotuses from the last time. A lot more bowling balls. So seeing a little bit of an adaptation actually come out from this MEC Brawler as they kind of switch up their game strategy a little bit. They didn't have a great time last week as well. So I'm wondering if it might be a little bit of the purpose on the chain and strategy. They've grown out of their Rock Lee phase, if you will.
And now it looks like they're trying to just throw strikes here because it's been all bowling balls and they have been landing. King K. Rool already at 144 as they try and make a comeback here in terms of percentage as the crown goes out. Now the musket and kind looking for the belly flops, but they're just not landing, and Me Brawler taking advantage of every single missed hit coming from K. Rool.
Just up from K. Rool, taking advantage of where they were, but a great defense on the ledge actually coming out. Good prediction on the play. Now King K. Rool is down to stop already. Miami, Ohio is patting the back of this Me Brawler and just saying, you're doing the work. You're putting it in. Miami, Ohio looking like they're in a very clean situation. King K. Rool is trying to, there's that primary Lotus. They said, you know what? It kind of worked. Let's go for it again. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's sauce them up.
And right now they're doing a whole lot of saucing up on this K. Rool. As you can see, the bowling balls just coming out. And you know what? King K. Rool finally does find themselves on stage and is able to bring them in through the musket. But again, not able to knock them out just yet. That should be able to do it, but no, Me Brawler's still hanging on.
Right from Me Brawler, making sure to stay involved here. Continue to go bowling on the edge, but hey, listen, drop kick is all King K. Rool needs to finish things off. That is a stock finish. At 150%, you're not going to do much when you're that close up to the ceiling. King K. Rool being carried up to the heavens by this Me Brawler.
And right now, this Me Brawler looking very strong. And as you can see, King K. Rool really struggling to try and take control of this match. But again, you know, I feel like Me Brawler is just literally finding avenues and just creating openings that they just constantly take advantage of. A lot of it coming from the bowling balls, but at the same time, you know, it's really just keeping this K. Rool off balance.
K. Rool is not having a great time with the offense of this Me Brawler. It's a very weird character because it feels so weird how nimble it can be. As you continue to see here, constantly being just as nimble as can be. Great defense on these ledge grabs. Little bit of a misprediction coming out from the Me Brawler. Gets punished, but immediately does a little bit of a dive kick onto King K. Rool. King K. Rool not appreciating that. And back off the ledge with you. Time to go back bowling.
A nice wake-up drop kick there just to try and create a little room because that edge guard, again, was so insane. And now there you have it. It will be Me Brawler to put it in to King K. Rool. R.I.P. That was sad because, again, I really do love King K. Rool.
Yeah, I mean, you can have your love, your adoration. He'll still accept the roses, but he's going to be accepting roses as he is watching his teammate try to finish off this Me Brawler. It's this Me Brawler with 2 stocks against the final member of Campbellsville University. What are they bringing out? I know they've got a Cloud on their team. They also have this Lucas as well. So here it is. Lucas as the anchor for Campbellsville University.
Well, I mean, they're stacking up at nearly the same height. I mean, if you include Lucas's hair, they got to be like the same height, right? I mean, so again, it should be a fair matchup, but in all terms of Smash and in all seriousness, though, I do like the Lucas pick a lot.
It would be terrifying if you could make a Me Brawler like 7 foot tall. That's iteration of Smash. They're gonna have Me Brawlers where you can make them into the heavies, the speedsters, all that stuff, and it's gonna just be the Me Brawler, Me Fighter, Me everything meta. But for now, you know, this Me Brawler doing a good job controlling things here. Good use of the PK Thunder, getting the recovery and laying in a little bit of chip damage as well. Use your body with authority.
Yep, speaking of authority, how about the reigning authority of bowling balls? Even though Lucas did manage to recover, avoid a good bit of them. But I couldn't help but notice that we're not seeing as many of the bowling balls as we have seen on King K. Rool. Let's see if that will begin to change. But, I mean, to do that, you're going to have to really force Lucas off stage. And finally they do. And here comes the bowling balls, but not able to connect.
Yeah, it's a very funny thing of who would win one psychic kid with an arsenal of psychic powers on, or one brawler with a bowling ball, right? It's just constantly happening. And there you go. There's the kick right up. That is a valuable stock gone. Remember, limited resources now for Campbellsville University. Have to go through 8 stocks in Miami Esports. Make that 7. They have one more from this Meat Brawler, and then they have 2 unknowns that they have to deal with. And Miami, Ohio has a very, very terrifying arsenal of players that they can look to send in to this crew battle to try and deal with this Lucas, a character who does have a quite big selection of people who can come in and just counter him on up. But this Lucas trying to put in some work. Meat Brawler puts in work with a 5-knuckle shuffle.
Not only that, but also a plethora of primary lotuses we got to see just now too. There's another one, and they are coming out in groves here. Again, a fantastic amount of plays being made. Again, being able to really take advantage of some of these openings because they're starting to predict a lot of this Lucas utility. And as soon as they use the utility, it leaves an opening for an attack. And Meat Brawler has just been taking advantage every single time. And finally are able to put it into the Lucas. And it will be Miami Esports to take the dub over Campbellsville.
3 elims coming out. What a display coming out from this Meat Brawler. Miami, Ohio, continuing to show themselves up as favorites inside of the MEC in these crew battles, ever so dominant. We're going to go ahead and take ourselves a short little break, and when we come back, we'll be going into our next crew battle of the MEC, so make sure you do not touch that browser. Sweet, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the MEC. We're ready to get into some more Smash action. I told y'all that break would not be long, and hey, yo, we got a repeat coming up at you. We have Campbellsville coming out, vengeance in their heart, but they're going to be taking on Ashland University inside of a fun matchup here. So, yo, Cap, are you ready? Are you excited? Are you prepared?
Oh, I'm always excited to see some Smash. And again, we are looking forward to this next matchup. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop right on into it. Let's get this one underway. And again, it's going to be Campbellsville University taking on Ashland University. And to start things off, we got Rob, the robotic operating buddy, taking on Pyramithra.
They are going to be going against each other here. See what they got going on. You can see them already kind of filling each other out for a moment there. As it's a very interesting thing. This Mithra's been an interesting one to see come out from Ashland University. The very first time I saw this player, they actually played a Mii Brawler. But recently they have switched over to this, and this has been their matchup of choice. They've been looking to go into it. They've been actually grinding out this character quite a good bit. I love the fact that we're starting to see them get more and more comfortable in this character, while Rob did not get to have the great showing that they wanted in the previous matchup. So you know they're looking at this angry set. They're like, all right, you know what? I want to show everybody what Rob can do.
Well, let's see what Rob can do. They're going to have to operate from underneath the stage. They do recover, and now trying to put Pyra actually out and towards the side, but Mithra comes back right there, center stage, and is going to keep Rob at bay, looking to try and get that final in, but it is parried, and it blocked away, and now Mithra back on the edge again, trying to confirm this stock, but Rob's still hanging on.
That's doing a great job, making sure to constantly hang on, do exactly what they need to do in this matchup. Throw out those gyros, constantly take advantage of the spacing that you have in your favor. Make sure you can build up this percentage, right? Because this is a character who can just send you flying very quickly. Great stuff from Rob, capitalizing on a bit of misjudgment.
Yep, and there you have it. I mean, what it could have should have been an early stock there for Pyramithra. It just gets stolen and taken away by Rob, as now the revenge stock does come in kind, and finally, Rob's first stock is now gone.
Mithra started off things pretty hot, laying in the groundwork for a bit more. Back to even stats, even percentages. Rob needs to try and build up a little bit more of that damage a little bit quicker, right? Good use of the gyro to create a mix-up there, actually. Two different hitboxes that you have to pay attention to at all times. It's the trickiest thing about Rob, actually, in an ideal world where you're able to just have that little bit of a mix-up where it's just like, all right, yeah, you're going to have me on both sides here, laying in the pressure. So, Rob, continue to do a little bit more of that, and you're seeing they're starting to get used to how this Mithra is wanting to play, and they started going to a mid-range style. They've started shooting out more of those lasers, more gyros, and this is what you need to do. Adapt to how fast and aggressive this player is.
And again, that really separates the wheat from the chaff. The better from the best is being able to really adapt and make changes in the middle of a match. I mean, I'll be honest, I can't do it, but it's really impressive to see when these players can. You really have to change up your play style here, and Rob has done just that, and now will take the lead in stocks. They now have 2-2, Pyramithra's 1.
Yeah, this is great stuff. Using that mid-range. Then when you go to the ledge, that is where Rob decides they want to take into the CQC, right? The strongest that this character is when they're in the center stage, right? They are in that very powerful position at that moment in time. I want to see more of that, throwing out that sword, spinning it around, laying in the damage as such. Rob, though, very hard character to finish off. You're going to have your work cut out for you, and Mithra needs to find a quick way to lay in a big amount of hurt.
Oh, absolutely, because it's still 2 stocks to 1, and Rob is just getting closer and closer to evening out the damage percentage, nearly lapping this Pyramithra. But finally, they do land a great attack, and that will be the second stock now gone off of Rob, and we're down to a 1 stock versus 1.
Yeah, but being 1-1, you got to think is in favor of the Rob. Rob looking to lay in a bit more hurt as time continues to go on, but here you go. Continue. Press the advantage a little bit further beyond and see what you're able to do from there, as Mithra has got their work cut out for them, but they're laying in a little bit of percentages in the center.
And look at Rob again using that gyro there just to keep the Pyramithra off stage, but they're able to recover. Now looking for the down throw. It does land, and we're going right on top of the platform there. And there goes the up smash from Rob, and it will be enough to send Pyramithra all the way into the blast zone. And there you have it. Rob will get the dub.
Yeah, Rob getting the dub, finishing things off. Good stuff to be able to see. And hey, that's got to feel good. Good matchup between the two to start things off as the point. And yeah, that's going to be good for Campbellsville University. They started off last time with a early lead up with a stock advantage. See if they can continue that and get it a little bit better for themselves as we go into our second matchup, which I'm very excited to see what Ashland has, because Ashland has a very diverse roster of players in their repertoire.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next matchup, so let's see what we have. Remember, the Rob still into this fight, still holding on, and they could possibly take even more stocks away as we get ready to go into our next matchup. Let's see who will be coming from the side of Ashland, and it's going to be a Bayonetta.
Yeah, it's Bayonetta coming in, and I'm gonna be honest. This is a character who I actually think you might be a little bit worried about if you're Rob. There's a scary situation, right? Like Rob has great recovery, right? Great recovery. They can fly around. They can do all this great stuff for themselves. But Rob becomes a very, very scary situation where you just carry them up into the ceiling as Bayonetta, and it becomes a very, very insane moment, right? Like it just becomes like, yes, you have great recovery, but what if I just carry you up into the heavens?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, the thing is that Rob is a little bit heavier than Bayonetta. So it's going to, and unfortunately, Bayonetta does not have a lot of kickback potential. You know, again, it's a lot of these combos that, you know, really pile on the damage percentage. So again, it's going to be a little bit of extra work for Bayonetta. Still should be a good matchup regardless. But Rob, they have a lot of knockback potential. And again, they're really, really good off stage as well as Bayonetta. But the thing is that, you know, I think Rob having that little bit of extra knockback potential can go a long way. It's just going to be about finding your openings and, you know, kind of, you know, like putting Bayonetta on the ground. You just can't let them get into the air.
Man, we need to see exactly what this comes down to, though, right? Like, we need to see if Bayonetta is able to do that carry, get things going for themselves, be able to find that momentum to kind of send you on over to the heavens, such as that. It becomes the question of that. It becomes the question of that. So I do want to see, you know, can Bayonetta find that? Because the thing about Bayonetta that we've seen, this Bayonetta players in general, over the course of the day, over the course of MEC, we've seen what it's like when they have high impact. We've also seen when they floundered, when they haven't been able to hit those dashes, when they haven't been able to hit those consecutive blows up into the stratosphere. So let's keep our eyes for it. I'm just ready to see what this matchup looks like.
Well, let's get right on into it. We're getting right back to the action here. And again, it's going to be Bayonetta taking on Rob. And right now, Campbellsville University are holding on to a 1-stock lead. And we're going to have to see if Rob from Campbellsville can increase that lead, or will Ashland be able to tie us back up again?
Buy on back. I love the dramatic way that Rob has to leave here, by the way. He's like, I'm not gonna go out the normal way. I'm gonna fly into the farthest corner of the map. Haha. You can't do that. Nobody else can. Some characters can, but here you go. Go ahead and just oh, that was raw.
Yeah, they ran right into that witch time, and honestly, I'm surprised that Bayonetta didn't make more of it, you know, but they were able to get some free hits onto Rob, and the damage percentage is just about even out. But look at Rob, again, they're playing that distance game. They're forcing Bayonetta to move in, and that's where they land in the heavy damage. Again, a good amount of control coming from Rob so far, but how long can they keep it up?
As Bayonetta's being a little bit tempered, actually, in regards to it, right? When that zoning comes out, they're taking a little bit more time to figure out what approach would be the best. Then they immediately go in for those dashes. They're taking those moments, those pauses, to try and figure out what will be the best option for themselves, ready to play defensively. So you see the mindsets there, but these dashes are whiffing. They are constantly being dodged out. It's not even Rob blocking them. Rob is just not there.
And now you can see Rob. They are constantly going to the edges of the stage every single time. I don't know if they're trying to bait and switch Bayonetta off stage or what the plan is, or if they're just trying to keep as much distance between Bayonetta and themselves as possible. They're going straight for the range game, which is interesting because, you know, Rob, they can do the range. You know, they have the gyro, they have the laser, but at the same time, that's pretty much it when it comes to the range. Now you can see finally we are going center stage. We are landing the big blows, and Bayonetta in the red, in the critical. Looks like they could be losing that stock, and there it goes. No, they recover.
Yeah, they recover yet again, and this is just such a good display coming out. Rob with a laser coming in. Bayonetta getting dropped down to, I believe, their last stock as well, and this is a devastating thing to come out from Rob. Rob is just this insane character in regards to being able to just pile on that percentage and lay in the hurt.
Now you can see Rob trying to come and recover. Does avoid the big heavy, but unfortunately goes right into that combo. Now they are in the critical. They have 100% damage in the knockback potential there. Is able to eat most of that damage, but not all of it. Rob falling off stage is now going to be comboed by the Bayonetta. Still not able to confirm this last stock just yet.
Yeah, constantly just... This is just becoming a very good display from Rob inside of a lot of these different instances, but this Bayonetta is finding those moments to be able to chip away, to be able to confirm, and that's the danger of Rob, right? That is what I was talking about earlier on. Bayonetta does have some moves that they can hit you with, but the scariest thing is when they're able to do those dash attacks, when they're able to start filling them combos out, when they're able to start chipping you down with those heals. That's when it starts to be in all express ticket, the pain station. And there you go. Rob, feeling the pain. Great stuff to be able to come about.
And you know what? Still not a bad showing from the Rob either, because they did manage to take one stock. So at the very least, you know, they're making it easy for the next person up coming from the side of Campbellsville. So again, not too shabby, not too bad. But Bayonetta does take that win. And you know what? It's still a little bit of a deficit though. Again, Campbellsville still holding on to their lead.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we got going on for our next matchup coming about here, as you got a Bayonetta that's there. Bayonetta is an interesting one. Very light, very fast, very nimble. It's one of those characters that I know, like, if you do like a chart of Smash characters where you're just like, yo, this character in Smash is countered by X character, right? When I see Bayonetta or characters that are like Bayonetta, I'm like, all right, it's a skill check. Can you navigate whatever BS the opponent wants to throw at you? I think that becomes the big question for me.
Well, let's get ready to see what our next matchup is going to be. Who's going to be taking on the Bayonetta from Ashland as we get ready to head into this next matchup, and it's our boy Roy.
Yeah, it's our boy Roy. I'm thinking back to the last time we actually got to see this the Roy come out from Campbellsville University, and if I recall correctly, it is a pick that we got to see do a good amount of damage. It's a big heavy hitter for the squad that they pull out. I'm trying to remember which player actually plays the Roy on their roster, but Campbellsville breaking out Roy is the boy. I'm a big fan of them saying, you know what? You might have a witch, but we got swords.
Oh, absolutely. And let's see if Roy here can end up being a witch hunter and put it into this Bayonetta. Keep in mind, they do have that stock advantage, but Bayonetta coming out early with a lot of combos. And again, those aerial attacks that are just adding up damage. But you got to keep in mind also is that Roy, a little heavy, a little heavier than some other swordies. And not only that, but also it doesn't take massive, large combos for Roy to do damage. Just a couple of openings could be devastating. But Bayonetta from Ashland just putting on a clinic here on the first stock. And already Roy will lose their first stock, and now we're at 2v2 stocks apiece.
Yeah, this is the dangerous part when you are playing Roy into the Bayonetta, right? It's, as I was saying about before, you kind of get skill checked in this moment in time, and Ashland's Bayonetta is no slouch. You can see they are completely fine with carrying you away. Roy's tools, yeah, cool CQC. How do you do with the fast, nimble movements of a Bayonetta? The question is, right, Like, how do you deal with it? The answer so far, there's none. Roy is getting tossed around a lot off these dash attacks and just constantly have that percent. Look at how they're just getting carried around. What do you have to deal with that? You're just a sortie.
You see, that's the thing with Roy is that, I mean, and again, Bayonetta isn't very heavy. I mean, they are heavier than you would think, but Roy is also really, really strong. They have a lot of knockback potential, but they can't find the opening. And right now, Bayonetta is simply outpacing the Roy. They can't keep up. They can't find their opening. Bayonetta moving too quickly. And now Roy will lose their last stock. Ashland University will now take the lead back and away from Campbellsville.
We're getting shades of the last game now with the way Campbellsville is not enjoying the different things coming about. Good stuff to be able to go in. Let's go ahead and see what this Nets matchup is. I'm hoping it's something spicy to come out here.
Oh yes. Yes, indeed. It is so funny, and I always will say it and will continue to say it for the memes at the very least. Is that Ganon is the heaviest sword user in the game, the heaviest swordie. That's right. Getting ready to go up against Bayonetta. I mean, you literally have a sorcerer versus the sorceress, so this should make for a really good matchup.
All right, Ganondorf, what you got for us here? This is not one that we get to see too terribly often, but this is an interesting change up from Campbellsville, saying, you know what, I want to bring in the Ganon. I'm feeling pretty inspired, you know. I want to come in here and mix things up. But right now, Ganondorf's getting mixed up. Link might have to take some notes with the way Bayonetta is cleaning up house on this Ganondorf's percentage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now, I feel like this Bayonetta from Ashland has just been in their groove and has not come out of it. I mean, look at the combos. Again, raining in, looking to take Ganon all the way into the blast zone, not able to confirm, but still, that is already 112% onto this Ganon, and they're still not stopping, and they're putting Ganon through the ringer, nearly able to confirm that first stock.
Honestly, it feels like Ashland is just showing Ganondorf has been brought into the lab, right? You're getting tested upon right now at this moment in time. Good answer back right off. The rage is there. Ganondorf is a character who can hit notoriously hard, but your recovery options are limited, and the percentage getting built all the way up into the 200s. That's insane. And Bayonetta was putting in the finesse, was putting in the work, but Ganondorf needs to do more than take in the hits. They need to be able to retaliate.
Let's see if they can. I mean, they already have eaten a lot of damage. Now they got to put it out. They do put Bayonetta into that 100 percentile, and they should be able to confirm a stock. Like I was saying earlier, they don't need to string big combos. They just got to find an opening, and they will be able to take that stock. And there it is. Finally, Bayonetta, after feels like, what, like 2-3 rounds, they're down to their final stock.
It's just such a clean display, though. Yet again, this Ganondorf is at such a rough situation here. They can't get the recovery. It's a stock to a stock. The revenge stock comes out. Ganondorf's recovery is such a huge hurdle for you to have to get over as a player. And trust me, this Ganondorf, if they're breaking it out right now, they're comfortable enough with it to know the risk that comes with it. But we are also seeing how it's working out against a character like Bayonetta, who's relying on a lot of these different swift moments to just consistently carry him out through the air like this. Look at this, just constantly laying in the hurt. You're not recovering from that. Ashland University, this Bayonetta is too clean.
Yeah, that what is that now? That's like 3 characters fallen to Bayonetta. I mean, I might be mistaken there, but it could have even been 4. I don't know. All I know is that Bayonetta is just going on an absolute tear right now, laying waste to Campbellsville.
I mean, it feels like it's the bane of their existence at this current moment in time, right? Like Campbellsville University, they're like, yo, what do we have for Bayonetta at this moment, right? We have thrown some of one of the heaviest characters that are very unique that you don't play against too often. I don't know what you want to go for. I feel like they're going to go for something a little bit more stock standard here now that Roy and Ganondorf have been taken off. So let's see. What do you have for us here, Campbellsville, as you've been showing us how deep the roster can get? Well, hey, look, it's time for Polly to come in.
Yeah, and you know what? I do think this is a good pick too. I think a zoner is exactly what they need. Although I was thinking something more of the lines like a solid snake, but you know, this could work out too because again, we have seen Bayonetta just constantly dash back and forth all over the stage. And when you have a zoner, you know, they could just dash literally right into some utility. So let's see if Palutena will be the answer to finally put this Bayonetta to bed.
There we go. See a couple pop shots already being fired out. I want to see some of those fireballs coming in, especially on those whiffs. But so far, this Bayonetta hasn't been whiffing too often. You need to create those opportunities. You can see immediately going full stage, going for those zaps. Immediately, great throw coming in from the poly as Bayonetta answers back, constantly being inside the face of this poly. Poly's trying to get a little bit of distance for those pop shots.
Yeah, they're trying, but again, Bayonetta just so good at closing the gap until finally we do see a down throw that looks to even the percentiles here, just about even. And now using the platform, trying to find the up air, not able to land it. Bayonetta, again, just avoiding all the damage. They literally are jumping through hoops until finally they get hit by the fireball.
Fireball is the most dangerous thing still. I want to see more of those. Good throw coming in. We'll lay in a good amount of chip damage, but great recovery onto the poly. Great offense, actually, onto the defense of that ledge there. Very unorthodox. And poly wasn't really ready to see that kind of aggression coming out from this Bayonetta. They want to be able to get at least one stock off this poly. That would be a mission well accomplished for Ashland University's momentum. To just make sure that this poly has that pressure of having to deal with this situation a little bit harder. But it is a hard ask as this poly is insanely good. And you can see they're starting to see, all right, maybe I need to throw a couple more of these fireballs out, catch this Bayonetta. That's what I want to see. I want to see more of those neutral fireballs.
Let's see if we'll get them. And there goes yet another fireball. Called it. There it is. And there goes another one, but neither of them land. And honestly, one fireball, and that'll just about do it. Meanwhile, you can still see Palutena doing their best to try and avoid the danger because, again, they are also very much in knockback potential as now they go for the back throw, sending Bayonetta far and wide, but not able to confirm.
Yeah, good stuff from Poly. Looking for those fireballs on the ledge is what I want to see more of. This Baya is constantly going in for these dashes, which is another big reason why I want to see those fireballs coming out more often. You can see a little bit of that defense coming about, but good use there, Poly. Finishing things off, Bayonetta has been vanquished.
Yeah, finally, and don't get me wrong, like it was well overdue, but that Bayonetta still went down, you know, very strong. That was nearly a one stock off of that Palutena. That Palutena was almost gone themselves. So again, you know, that Bayonetta, you know, kudos because that was quite the performance coming from Ashland.
Oh, now Ashland, they can throw a little bit of a wrench into their plans. To see what does Ashland have in favor of themselves here. As I am curious on what the matchup will be to go into a Poly. Poly's a very unique character. It is a zoner that has a little bit more weight to it. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on here in this matchup. We got Poly taking on Poly.
Let's go! Dude, I'm all for it. I love seeing a doppelganger matchup just because I don't really get to see it too often. But let's get this one underway. Palutena versus Palutena. Campbellsville versus Ashland. Who has the better Palutena?
All right, so for this one, what we're going to do is I'm going to refer to one as the Tigers and one as Ashland. That is how I'm going to go about this. Ashland is wearing the green tunic, while Tigers is going to be taking on the purple tunic for themselves. But you can see already mixing up a little bit of that damage here. The question is, how good is this Poly from Ashland here? They have to be feeling pretty confident to go against Campbellsville Universities because Campbellsville University is the one that legends have been made out of so far.
It's funny because you're looking at the tunic, right? And then I'm looking at the shields. I'm going red shield versus blue shield. I'm going to go with red versus blue. That's the way I'm going to handle it. And, you know, you got red coming from Campbellsville and then the blue from Ashland, if I am not so mistaken. That looks to be about right. Again, it's hard to really narrow it down. But, yeah, blue Ashland and then red Campbellsville. And right now you can see blue does get a back throw. Not able to even the odds just yet, though. But the fireball trade, both are avoided and blocked. And now another back throw coming from blue, nearly being able to even up the damage percentage. But right now, it has just literally been a mirror matchup.
I really like the way Ashland's actually using their blink to actually be very aggressive with it. Usually it's just a recovery option, but we've seen them getting aggressive with it. They do get punished for their over aggressiveness. Nice back throw coming in from Tigers, but now look, this is what Tigers is so devastating at. They carry you with that scepter. 40% of your HP already gone in an instance right there. Who said Polly has to be a zoner?
I know, right? I mean, we've been seeing a lot of that coming from Campbellsville, getting really up into the face of Ashland and just laying down that melee damage. But take a look at that. Ashland able to come through with what looked like a back air to get that stock. And now it's a 2-stock apiece match, but might not be the case for very long. Ashland looking pretty dire here as they are in that 100 percentile. They are in the danger.
Ashland also given a little bit of a taste of their own medicine as a result there, saying, you know what, I can do those moves with the scepter as well. Look and check this out. Ashland and Tigers, they're looking pretty good against each other. Campbellsville trying to get a little bit more of that aggression, filling each other out with those fireballs in the neutral state, going back over onto the platform, looking to see who can grab who. Big thing to keep note of, Ashland has that rage. They can do a little bit extra damage if they're able to catch onto him. Nice throw, but not going to be followed up by anything further at this current moment in time as Ashland trying to feel things out. Campbellsville finds a decisive moment to strike.
That they do, and now they're getting right back to work here in the center stage, and Ashland trying to hold on to this final stock. Meanwhile, you do have the bout between red and blue going back and forth now. And again, it's so funny because both of these players, like, they know their opponent's respective move. They know what to watch out for. So this is literally just an even matchup at this point. But again, Campbellsville do have that 1-stock lead, and so far they're doing their best to hang on to it, but they simply cannot. And now we're back to 1-stock apiece.
This is incredibly close. This is going to be anybody's game, right? The percentage is in favor of Campbellsville University, but you know there's so much pressure on to Campbellsville. Remember, they are at 4 stocks in comparison to the 7 of Ashland. If they're able to get this evened up, they have 1 stock to run through 1 whole character to try and even things up for their team. While on the side of Ashland, they've got the opposite side of pressure. They got the pressure of being the one chased at this current moment in time. You can see both sides looking. Look at this little display coming out between the two of them, just constantly filling out with those scepters, getting those parries going. Here we go, Ashland in critical HP now. The percentage is not in their favor, but that is okay with them. Don't tell them the odds. Ashland looking to defy them.
Yeah, trying to close the gap here. And you know what? It's honestly knockback potential for both. And finally, the fireball does land, and it lands in the favor of Campbell's University as their Palatino will reign supreme. And now Campbellsville University are that much closer to equalizing against Ashland.
That felt like a duel between Wizards and like D&D or something like that. They're just both over there like fireball, 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 just constantly throwing them at each other. Now this Poly has 1 life, 1 stock to deal with the remaining 6 that come out from Ashland. Ashland, what do you got for us? What is the pick? It's the Incineroar.
Okay, I can respect this. Again, you know, I really do like Incineroar. I like what we have seen from them so far. And this, I think, is going to be a much more interesting matchup than the Palutena v Palutena. Not that it wasn't fun, because I had a blast. But, you know, we're going to see 2 completely different fighters going at it right now. Again, the Palutena is the long-range zoner, and then you have the up-close and personal grappler that is Incineroar. And right now, look at Palutena just going straight to work here.
Yeah, who's the up-close character in this instance here? You look at the Poly just going in there, letting the set to do all of the speaking for him. They said, "Hey, yo, come over here, Incineroar. Let me talk to you real quick. My hand's going to do a lot of talking at this moment in time." And check this out. Immediately backing up, they flustered out the Incineroar. Tries to take that prideful wall, goes for that lariat raw, but cannot find it. And is the big issue now, right? Can't find their momentum, can't find their swing for themselves, but a good drop kick themselves back in, but immediately thrown back off of the map itself.
How was Palutena beating Incineroar at their own game? Like, literally hitting the back throws, the forward throws, bringing in the melees, and unfortunately, Incineroar, I don't think they've landed even like one grapple move. I didn't see a clothesline, haven't seen a suplex.
There it is.
Finally, we get the clothesline. There we go. But feels like, you know, they're just showing up late to the party here.
Well, I mean, it's all to Campbellsville. Credit to them for making sure that this has not been easy for this Incineroar. This Incineroar has gone for these lariats. And there you go. Gets another one off there. And this is big, actually, because the way that the damage has piled onto this Incineroar. He's in that rage doing extra damage and is really putting in some good work now onto the edge. And Polly getting a nice revenge kill with the fireball off the ledge, but they still only have one left to work with, and the percentage has been built up almost into the triple digits. This Polly's going to have their work cut out for him, and getting a little CQC in there, getting a little bit close and personal.
Oh, yeah, that they are. They're showing absolutely no fear to this Incineroar by any means, getting right up into their face and dealing out the damage. Now, look at this. Palutena about to lap this Incineroar, and there you go on the stock, and they take it. Now we're down to a one stock apiece. Campbellsville able to equalize against Ashland.
That was just a clean run through there. Polly didn't lose a single bit of HP on that stock. And you know what? That's where you're at. You don't want to lose any percentage in this instance. Now you have a little bit more resources to spare into this third one. But you got to watch out. Raw spinning the lariat to be able to come around, lay in that hurt. Lariat comes in, fling him off into the blast zone. And it was a great effort. It was valiant. It was heroic. But Campbellsville University, they will find themselves onto their last player. But damage done to Ashland. They are down to one stock on Incineroar, so possibly can even things up.
Oh my goodness. Again, that Palutena went absolutely crazy. You know, it started reminding me of that Bayonetta run from Ashland for a moment, but then Incineroar managed to, you know, kind of bring things back, but still at the cost of 2 stocks. My goodness. Let's see what will be coming out next from a Campbellsville University. King K. Rool. Let's go. I'm all here for it. Let's get ready to see 2 big old beasties battling it out. And what looks like, what is it, small battlefield, or is this regular battlefield? It's small.
Looks like small. Looks like
yeah, it's small battlefield.
Yeah, but you know, the cool thing about this, I like the fact that they said, you know what, we're gonna bring an anchor. We're gonna bring our heaviest player into this, right? We're gonna bring in that King K. Rool to be able to come into this anchor role. I also really like the King K. Rool into Incineroar matchup, just because you have so many tools to make everything suffering for this Incineroar.
Well, here we go. King K. Rool already off to a great start here, trying to make quick work of this Incineroar, just so that way they can try and, you know, well, not even, but just try and take another early lead. And so far, they're doing a pretty good job. I mean, it's going to take a lot to get rid of this King K. Rool, but that was a great start, again, being able to come through with that clothesline. But how many more of those can you get? They can get another, and now we're back even in damage percentage. Incineroar really looking to try and take this stock off of King K. Rool, but still, King K. Rool managing to recover.
Yeah, this will be big if they're able to actually finish this off good bit. This Incineroar is red hot. Their hand is telling them to grasp victory, but it's not enough. King K. Rool puts him in the dirt and sends him into the blast zone. Great stuff. And now it is an even matchup. Last player from both clubs are going to go head to head. 3 stocks apiece. It doesn't get any closer than this. It's King K. Rool versus Falco to end things off between these 2 clubs.
Oh, I'm here for it. This is the matchup right here. And you know what? I mean, I don't want to pick a side, so I'm not going to. I'm going to keep my mouth shut on this one. There will be no Captain's Caster's Curse. We're just going to let this one play out. But again, this is a great way to end this bout between these 2 teams. Clearly evenly matched.
Evenly matched in terms of stock. But remember, this is a difference in playstyle. You got that heavy in King K. Rool, and then you have Falco, who is this fast, acrobatic speedster that wants to get up into your face, mitts you up with a combination of kicks and blows that will leave you feeling flustered. And King K. Rool, they just want to leave you concussed. See what these 2 can be able to do. Opposite strategies, but the objective is the same for both sides. Knock out 3 stocks and make your school the victor.
Well, let's see if they can get it done right now. The up tilts are landing for Falco, but King K. Rool able to block one, gets the back throw and the first stock off of Ashland.
very big to be able to go into. Blunderbuss goes ahead, does his vacuum duty, sucks in Falco. Falco taking a good amount of damage, already at 60%. And this is the danger, as King K. Rool does not need to hit you with many blows. They are a person of very short sentences. They don't need to make sure that you have these big words to understand what they're going to do. They're here to throttle you, as King K. Rool finds another stock from Falco. The deficit has been built, but Falco trying to equalize things, a revenge stock, but revenge may have came a little too late.
Yeah, maybe is already, you can see again King K. Rool doing a really good job at actually juggling Falco, which is interesting because I expect that from Falco. I see the up tilts coming from Falco. They run it up. They again will juggle K. Rool, but K. Rool doing a pretty good job at that themselves, utilizing the crown more often than not. And now they are able to put Falco in the dirt all the way into the blast zone. And Campbellsville University, on their last player, are able to come through and take the win over Ashland.
What a comeback to be able to go through here inside this matchup. And you got to give a lot of credit to all the players at Campbellsville. They started off with the early lead. Then it was Ashland who fired back, had some sick Bayonetta play. It was great stuff from Ashland, but it was them losing out that momentum in the middle towards the end that really cost them. Good stuff. Hats off to them. We're going to go ahead and take ourselves a short little break then. After seeing that, that was a very, very fun series between two evenly matched schools. So make sure you do not touch that browsers. We got some more Collegiate Smash coming up.
It's a
Hello, welcome on back to the MEC. We're ready to get into more of the heated action here, and it's going to be a fun time. Benedictine versus Cornell is going to be our matchup we're going to be witnessing here today. And we're pedal against the metal here. Cap, are you prepared? We just got done with a very close series. Are we expecting another one that goes the distance?
I mean, honestly, I'm hoping so, but I got to tell you, that was one tough act to follow, especially the Bayonetta from Ashland putting on an absolute clinic. Honestly, that match wouldn't have been what it was without that player. So again, one big tough act to follow. Let's see if it can be as we get ready to head into our next matchup here. Let's see what comes out first from both sides as this matchup is nearly ready to get underway.
See here, Benedictine, Cornell, Esports. They're loading in. They're seeing what we got. What is it going to be? It's a Wolf versus Yoshi. So we're starting off with the Tims to start things off from the side of Cornell.
That we are. And we've already gotten to see a lot of Falco today, but I do like the Wolf pick as well. I think they are one of the more interesting characters from the Star Fox universe, so definitely love whenever we get to see them. But they are going to be going up against this Yoshi, and already Yoshi landing the almighty headbutt to try and start things off, but we're still just about even here. A nice good exchange from both sides.
Benedictine is looking to try and get this Wolf in there, continue. You don't want to ever let Yoshi kind of control the pace of the match because they have a lot of tools to be able to just constantly make you play their game. They have pressure that they can put in through those egg tosses, the Tims that could come in, that they can drop onto you as well. Don't want to deal with any of that. So Wolf going to go ahead and try and just keep in the face of this Yoshi. Make sure that Cornell is not able to build any kind of tempo for themselves.
You have got to avoid the tempo of the Tims. That's your most dangerous tempo right there. Meanwhile, Yoshi able to recover nicely, getting Wolf back onto stage, looking to get that up tilt, not able to land it, unfortunately. And again, Wolf really doing a good job of going in and out of that defense, finding those openings. Oh. But guess who also found an opening? Yoshi, able to get that up smash to get the first stock off of Wolf.
Yeah, that's the disgusting thing about Yoshi. They can absolutely just smash you in an instant with those Tims. That's why we always talk about them being so dangerous. But the claws of Wolf are also very dangerous as well. Stock to a stock, but 50% percentage builds up onto the Wolf. And now this Yoshi, it feels like they are feeling themselves on up. They are ready to get in there. They said, you want to go ahead and, scratch and claw your way through? It's okay. I've been scratching and clawing my whole life as they get another stock taken out. Yoshi takes no prisoners.
Oh, absolutely not. Again, they're sick and tired of the Mario Luigi abuse, and now they're taking out some of that pent-up frustration onto Wolf, but Wolf also going to be able to land a good chunk of damage as well, trying to even the stocks right back on up, and so far, they're doing a fantastic job putting Yoshi back into the sky until finally they do manage to find themselves back center stage, but the damage has already been done.
Yeah, no, the damage is you're in for a world of pain at this current moment in time. This Yoshi's going to continue throwing out these eggs, continue throwing out that hurt, try to chip away. If you lose out on this thought, that's great, that's fine. You still have a lot that you need to work on. 40% onto the Wolf. The Yoshi is at their last stock. It's a stock to a stock, but Wolf going ahead and getting that aggression going for themselves. They've downloaded a little bit of what this aggression this Yoshi wants to bring in and said, you know what, cool. Bet. I'm just going to keep scrapping. I'm going to keep clawing because Wolf is no stranger to it either.
Here we go. I mean, again, this is really anybody's game at this point, although Yoshi does have a decent lead in the damage, but it is ever getting so closer here. One solid hit from either side should be enough to get the stock, and that coulda, shoulda, coulda been it, but it is not, as now we are going right back to it. But look at this Wolf, able to come through and get the final stock off of Cornell, and now it will be a one stock lead for them.
Good stuff coming in from the squad here. And hey, look, that's exactly what you wanted. If you're playing as Wolf at that current moment in time, Yoshi's going in. They're going with that flurry of kicks all the time, right? They're getting you with that aerial. Hey, go ahead and punish that. Send them up into the skies. They want to jump up there so badly. Send them flying. Well, let's see. Next up, from the side of Cornell, they have a couple very intriguing members that they could bring in here. They're going to start off with the Terry as their second one to go ahead and punch away at this wolf.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can. And now we're on Final Destination as well. So, I haven't gotten to see a lot of this stage, but I'm honestly a fan of it. I wish I could see more of it. So here we go. 3 stocks to 1 now. Let's see if Terry can just wrap things up and bring us into the next fight. Or will Wolf be able to take a stock or 2 off of Terry?
It is the question we have to ask ourselves here. But this Terry is a hard-hitting character, right? This is a character that you can easily punish Wolf if they go for a move that is counterable. It is something that we've seen time and time again. Once that go button comes in, it is a very valuable resource. Wolf doing a good job actually making sure that this Terry does not have it easy. Go button is now available, and you can see they're looking to confirm. Those jabs into confirm, boom, boom, right to the heart. What a heart-stopping performance coming in. And it has been even up. Benedictine Cornell, even stock to stock.
This has the makings of an absolute banger of a matchup, similar to what we saw in the previous matchup as well. Let's see if we can go the full distance as we get ready to load into our next matchup. Let's see what will be the answer to this Terry pick. Already starting out pretty good, and also giving credit to the Wolf that they almost were able to take that stock off. But let's see who will be coming out and who will be the selection made to answer against Terry. And here we go. It will be Banjo and Kazooie.
Here we go. Banjo and Kazooie. This is the missing puzzle piece for Benedictine inside of this matchup. I like the idea of this actually into the Terry. Terry not going to have the funnest of times, the variety of things that are going to be spit out back at to him. And Banjo could be a very tricky character to actually go against. Was one of the characters that a lot of people were like, what is this character doing? This character is insane when they first released.
Yeah, well, so far it looks like Terry is having absolutely no problem whatsoever. Already in the danger, in the red, 100+% onto Banjo and Kazooie. All it's going to take is one solid hit from the Terry, and it should be able to confirm that first stock. But Banjo, so far, able to eat up a lot of that damage, and now finally they're going to start striking back.
Yeah, miss on the dash attack is a big whiff, punished very swiftly. Good stuff from Cornell, as now they have taken the lead finally in favor of themselves, and the percentage getting right back up, as you can see that 41% from Terry. Terry just going forward, letting the fist do the talking. They don't need to find any missing puzzle piece. They just need to find the face of this bear and sock it in the face.
Well, let's see if they can. I mean, they've already gotten the first stock off, so already they're off to a fantastic start. Looking to get yet another, as you can see, Banjo and Kazooie, respectfully, are in that 100 percentile, and they can't recover. They're too far gone. And now Terry are 1 stock away from getting a clean sweep on this Banjo and Kazooie.
Yeah, they took out the last stock of the Wolf. They've taken out 2 stocks of Banjo. And what resources have they had to spend besides a couple beads of sweat to come about on their face? They have been doing a great job controlling. This Banjo has not been able to put up any offense against Terry. Terry has been the one who's been constantly getting in. You are just in range of Terry's fist, and that is right where Terry wants you. You can see it already. Boom, boom, right down into the blast zone. A clean sweep of the second player of Benedictine University.
Well, there you have it. Cornell Esports able to go up 3 stocks over Benedictine, as now we get ready to see who is going to come out to try and answer against this Terry, because right now they are looking really strong, and it's going to be a Ganondorf.
Wait, this is 2 different schools playing Ganondorf. What's going on here? This is not what I was expecting. We went from Cloud being the most contested character inside of it, which I'm like, you know what, sure, you know what, he's a very popular character. A lot of people like him, even if they don't think he's the best character in the game. They like to play him because Cloud's a cool character. Sure, Ganondorf is somebody I do not get to see, and now we got 2 colleges breaking out Ganondorf himself, the big heavy.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. And honestly, I kind of favor the Ganon in this fight just because Terry, they have to rush in a lot to try and do a lot of their dash attacks. And now, speaking of Go Meter, also ready as well, but they're not going to be able to use it. Ganon able to take that first stock. And it was just by utilizing the fact that Terry, they have to dash in a lot for their attacks, which leaves them open for Ganon to just lay down some of those heavy smashes.
Yeah, Ganondorf's this big, meaty brawler, and they are as heavy as can be. Terry's going to need to put a little bit more oomph onto the punches for each different time. Make sure Ganondorf's able to fill them, but you can see Terry, they don't have any problem making them feel the fist of rage. They don't have any problem making sure that they constantly feel the pressure here. But the Ganondorf, now at 120% right there, starting to get into that point where they're doing a little bit more oomph with every single one of those hits.
Yeah, that they are. They're going to need a little bit more, though, if they're going to confirm this first stock. You can't give Ganon any momentum because that will quickly turn into a stock off of you. Meanwhile, you do see that the number percentages are getting a little bit more even. That gap is closing as now Terry is in the 80 percentile. They're going to try and throw out some of the utility. Not going to be able to land, though. And they get behind the Ganon. That could have been it, but they landed a combo, and now it looks like Ganon has a little bit of rage to work with, but they're not going to be able to use it. They get sent into the blast zone and will lose their first stock.
It's great to see from the Terriers starting to feel themselves a little bit more here. As I don't know if you noticed there, but we are seeing quite a few whiffs from Terry in this instance. So yet again, a whiff on the throw. We've seen a couple whiffs on that dropped kick that they try to bring in there. But now with the go button brought in as a resource, they are a very, very powerful force to be reckoned with. Ganondorf actually wants to try and wipe out this character as soon as possible because with this go button, Terry becomes a character who can lay in that damage stick. We were talking about you need to hit him a little bit harder. Well, guess what? Terry has the tools at their disposal to do just that. Another stock, back-to-back consecutive stocks.
Yeah, this Terry is looking really good right now. And you got to keep in mind, they already got a 3-stock win over Banjo and Kazooie. Now they're looking to get another stock win over this Ganon. 2 stocks now to 1. Go meter still active, but that big boot from Ganon will bring us back to 1 stock apiece.
And gets rid of the go button as well. A very big thing to be able to utilize because, right, Camden, Cornell, they were doing such a good job of just taking in the blows, taking in the punishment, and saying, okay, now that I have my go button, I'm able to go in here. This is where things get really scary for you, right on the ledge. What a beautiful read off this Ganondorf that just send him down to the abyss.
Yeah, but you got to give it up to that Terry. I mean, they were able to take the last stock off of Wolf, 3 stock the Banjo and Kazooie, and then take 2 stocks off of Ganon. So not a bad showing at all. That is a total of 6 stocks for them. Still a great showing, but now let's get ready to see who the next pick will be going into this matchup. Coming from Cornell Esports, it is going to be Shulk. And you know what? I'm all here for it. Let's go.
Yeah, here we go. This is such a weird matchup. I didn't plan my day around thinking Ganondorf, Shulk. I'm not gonna lie to you. I knew I was gonna see a Shulk sometime today, but Ganondorf I've seen twice now. And Benedictine's Ganondorf has been leaving an impression here. I'm curious. Shulk, known to be a fantastic player for Cornell, right? This player has put in the work, won some tournaments, has put themselves up there on the pedestal quite a few times, showing themselves up in top 3 inside of the LAN event that we did previously. I want to see how they deal with a Ganondorf now because the question is, right, we see him use that speed, that jump. I think you're going to be utilizing a lot of that shield art inside of this matchup.
Oh, yeah, and you know, that is what is going to make this interesting, but look, they're going all the way off stage. That's going to be a... Wait, hold the phone. Wait.
It wasn't a double E-list. He didn't fall yet. He hadn't fallen yet.
Didn't go all the way down before Ganon was eliminated. Honestly, they got a freebie. I'm chalking that up to a freebie because that felt like you should have lost a stock there, but regardless, Shulk able to take the last stock off again and then come away technically scot-free.
That was such a good gamble, though. Like, we can't just glance over it. The Shulk jumped down purposely to catch the recovery of Ganondorf. That's actually so Gigabrain to be like, yo, I'm gonna stop your recovery by taking the blow. I have better recovery than you, so I can float up in the air a little bit longer than you can, and I just ate up your recovery. That was beautiful. Great stuff from the show. Great leadership, and that shows the experience of the player paying off. Now Shulk with 3 stocks still gets to go into the next member of Benedictine. And remember, this is their second to last player, and it's time. It's time. The Battle of the Blondes coming at you here. JRPG protagonist fight it on out. Cloud taking on Shulk.
Well, here you go. I mean, not to mention, this is also a battle of the swordies, too. I mean, you literally have Cloud, who has been the favorite of a lot in the Smash community, even to, my discredit is, I don't think they are the greatest, but there are some that definitely would argue that they are. But with that being said, we're already well and underway, and you can see Cloud already getting a good chunk of damage in, and you have to wonder what type of art are we going to see coming from Shulk to try and counter the Cloud? Are we going to see the speed, the jump? Are we going to see the buster? I mean, there's just so much that you can use here, but what is the key to defeating Cloud?
And remember, from the side of Cornell, they actually have a Cloud player on their roster as well. So it's a matchup that they have the option to actually get a little bit more knowledge beforehand to be able to have that. And that's a very important thing. Limit is now available. Let's see what kind of Cloud this is. If they're going to be able to, if they will just throw this limit break out immediately, they use it for the recovery, which I personally am a big fan of in a lot of matchups, saving that limit break for the recovery and then mixing them up with your matchup. You have a lot of good moves that you're able to utilize and save that limit break for something that's big, that's able to start things off. Spike misses from the Shulk, and now you can see it right there. Smash him off to the side. Shield won't save you.
Yeah, they tried to break it out, but you know what? I got to tell you, if they're going to go up against this Cloud, I think while they're on stage, they just need to use speed art. And there you go. You can see the speed art does come out. This is where they can get an advantage over Cloud, because Cloud is quick, but they're not necessarily speedy. So if you bring out that speed art, you should be able to get somewhat of an upper hand, chip away at the damage, and then when you get Cloud off stage, bring out the smash art, bring out the buster, and then finish up. So far, it is a great stock that has been taken off of Monem coming from the side of Benedictine, but they're getting right back to work trying to get the revenge.
Looking to go ahead and lay in the herd. Goodbye, Shulk. Good night, sweet prince. And now the stock advantage for Cloud. They almost have limit break almost saved up for themselves as well. Buster has been brought out, but you look at this limit break cross slash hitting them, and this Cloud ever so aggressive in your face. I'm loving it. They are constantly looking to be the aggressor, flying into the face of this show with that jump gone. It's going to have to utilize speed. They're going to try and have to use something to get a little bit of an advantage, but this Cloud's aggression cannot be stopped.
It doesn't seem like it can. I mean, look at Shulk already in the 100 percentile, trying to just stay alive as the smash art does come out. This could be huge. Again, being able to use that smash art should be able to work, but no, Cloud able to find the opening first to get the final stock off of Shulk and getting that round win.
Well, in the Battle of the Swordies, Cloud comes out on top. So Cloud doing a good job for themselves in that. I'm a big fan of the aggressiveness. I'm a big fan of how they utilize their limit break. We've actually seen a lot of Clouds. I was talking about it earlier on inside this very matchup of how Cloud is the most common denominator of players inside of the MEC. We've seen more Clouds than any other character. Hey, I'm a big fan of it. I love the fact they're doing it. Good use of the limit break. Probably the best usage of limit break that we've seen so far from a Cloud inside of the MEC. And now we're going into our next matchup. What do you have, Cornell? Is this the Cloud player? Or is it a Cloud v Cloud mirror matchup? No, it's the Robin coming out.
That it is. That's going to be rather interesting too. I mean, considering that Robin is, such a horizontal zoner, like you had mentioned earlier, and Cloud, they don't really have the most aerial abilities. Cloud is a very horizontal slasher themselves. I mean, even their up B isn't the best. Their recovery isn't the best. So they're going to have to go straight forward into this matchup. And right now, they're doing a pretty good job of it. I mean, they're not giving Robin any room to work with so far.
Yeah, that's what you need to do, right? The pros for both of these characters are the cons for both of the characters, right? Cloud wants to get up into your face, doesn't have great zoning tools, as you were talking about. They are a much more neutral fighter inside of the game. You want to see them go onto in the neutral stage. You want to see them fighting that horizontal plane, as you were talking about earlier on. Robin wants to stay on that horizontal plane, but wants to keep the distance, wants to keep zoning you out. Their biggest weaknesses, Robin doesn't want to be close to people. Cloud, they want to be as close as possible. They got a giant sword for a reason. They're here to swing it and lay in the heart.
Yeah, that they are. And look at this off the edge guard already. You can see they're nearly able to get this first stock off of Robin. And there it is, the back air, which appeared to be a back air, could be mistaken, but it does land. And also another thing that I would like to address here, and by all means, correct me if I'm wrong, but having that fully charged limit, doesn't that also give a speed boost to Cloud as well? If they don't use the limit break, they just build it up. They get the full limit meter filled. Does that give them a speed boost?
For me, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I do it, I use the limit so quickly. I just immediately am like, yeah, nope, it's just something for me to utilize, to immediately go into it. Most of these players out here, you look at it, it's not really giving you a boost of any kind here, right? The biggest thing that makes you feel like it's giving you that boost is because you do have that like blue after effect that's on you, making you feel like you're zooming throughout the map. But get that limit break. You want to just use it to either go for a cross slash or keep it for that up B for the enhanced recovery it gives you, because that is one of your biggest weaknesses as Cloud. You get taken off stage, you're immediately going to get put into that issue there, as you can see it constantly. I love how this Cloud, every single time they knock them off and they're like, I can't continue the aggression, limit break charged.
Oh yeah, and look, they're already charged it all the way back up, gets the up B, and gets the second stock off of Robin. But Robin, I'm assuming, should be able to come through with this revenge stock quickly, as they do manage to block the cross slash. And now Cloud off onto the edge, does get hit there by the fire as they look to try and get this second stock. But Cloud, again, just going to make this a lot more difficult for Robin.
Really good use of the cross slash here, by the way. Using it to confirm inside of the mid neutral here many a times. The hitbox for it's a little bit wider than a normal swing too, so you're able to actually confirm a little bit more if you're sitting on the platform. But finally, Robin's able to finish off things there. They're at 60%, which is the scary thing to be inside of, but they do dodge out as Cloud almost finished up their limit break at the very end there. So that could have been a catastrophic situation, even stock to stock, 4-4 between both of these schools here, as Benedict Times trying to finish things off to make sure that they go into the last stock with a favorable advantage for themselves, as Cornell is going to continue trying to lay in that aggression with this Robin, try and get that percentage building so that way they can look for that KO blow to find something decisive to finish things off. But look at Cloud, that limit break cross slash, not going to be able to find the killing blow that way. But they find it there. Oh, they barely are able to survive it. Good stuff coming out from the Robin. They're just getting flung around, though.
Yeah, eventually they will go down all the way up into the blast zone, and that will be the end of our dear Robin. But Cloud looking very strong, and also got to give Robin credit. They were able to take 2 stocks off of Cloud, and again, really make them work for it there. So you just made your next teammate's job a whole lot easier. And speaking of which, let's see who they're going to be bringing to the fight to try and finish off Cloud. Coming from Cornell, it is Incineroar.
This is an interesting matchup, just from the pure fact of Incineroar wants to get up into your face, has a lot of tools of dealing with the sorties. I feel like has a lot of cool things that you can actually do to interact with them, and also your 2 characters that both don't have the greatest of ways of dealing with recovery or anything like that. Right, it does become a bit of a situation of that, but you both have some very big, heavy-hitting moves. The big ones from both sides to keep our eyes on is Cloud using the cross slash. They actually are able to just focus on the limit break cross slash, just because they shouldn't be focusing on out of stage game against an Incineroar like this. While Incineroar, they have that lariat, they have those throws. That's something that we're going to have to keep our eyes on to many a times, and you can already see actually using that air slash coming in with that limit break does a huge chunk of damage to Incineroar.
Oh yeah, I mean, they are already I don't want to say they're pretty much eliminated at this point, but it's pretty close that they are nearly done with that stock. But, you know, look at this. It doesn't take many moves to already put Cloud back into the 70th percentile. But here we go. There goes the forward throw. And it does even add more damage. And all it's going to take is just one solid hit. The limit break is activated. There it goes. And the cross slash was there, but it didn't confirm. And Incineroar is still holding on.
Yeah, good stuff, actually. That was a little bit of mind games coming out from Incineroar. They do get eliminated on that stock, but you got to give credit where it is due. They played mind games with the ledge there. They read the Cloud like a book. The Cloud has been doing this many a times where they actually turn around and use that cross slash onto the defensive when they play ledge guard, which is a very traditional strategy for a Cloud to be able to go for. It's pretty good to be able to go for. Cloud can actually finish things off. Oh, no, the drop kick. Oh, he went for it and went straight into oblivion with it. That is a feels bad scenario. Cornell on their last stock.
Now that they are, Cloud, though, barely hanging on to their final stock, as that should do it. The throw gets the elimination animation, but it's not enough to confirm 150%. Still trying to build that limit, but no, that should have been it. Where was the clothesline? Where was it? That should have been the end.
Good counter coming out there. Cloud being able to survive a little bit longer. They got that rage building as well. Remember, with limit break already charged up, one cross slash can actually finish off the Incineroar. If they're not careful, they're going to get thrown. They're going to be looking for it. They want that heat, but it's going to be the net that gets thrown over. They get discombobulated, but they will recover as they utilize that limit break to make sure that they'll be able to stay alive for a little bit longer now. The limit break is going to have to get charged back up, and there it goes. Let's run it on back. Go back to the other side of the arena. They finally finished off the last stock of the Cloud, but Benedict time, the last player, 3 stocks against the Incineroars, 1.
You know what? That was nuts too. Just because, again, Cloud at like 150% was able to eat a clothesline. You can eat that once. There's no way you're going to eat it twice. Meanwhile, we get to see the last player going up against this Incineroar. So let's get ready to see who is going to be coming out to try and get the win for Benedictine. And it's none other than Falco.
I feel like we've seen this before, you know? Like the Falco versus Incineroar coming in, and I mean, this is a good thing for the... I personally really like the Falco in this matchup, just because of the fact of, yeah, Incineroar has some big, heavy hits they can hit you with. Falco, if they get momentum onto their side, they can just juggle the Incineroar, and Incineroar doesn't really have a lot of tools to be able to deal with that. They are very much so like, I want to grab you, I want to throw you, I want to hit you with some meat hooks of lariats, I want to hit you with all of these different tools in my disposal. But a lot of those tools require for you to be in that neutral state, right? Or be in a horizontal plane from them. Falco, they're going to be above you, making you taste their feet. They're going to be below you, making you taste their wings. This is not looking good for the Incineroar. They will drop down to the blast zone and explode.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Falco the new Cloud for this week? Like last week, Cloud was the highest pick rate, without a doubt. This week, it seems like it's just all Falco.
I think a lot of these players that have been playing for a long time, right? If you're looking for a character that was like a cool character to play from back in the days of Melee all the way up until now, Falco's always been that guy, right? Like a lot of those Smash players who have that experience, it makes a lot of sense for people to be like, yeah, you know what? I like me some Falco. Who would have thunk? All right, but yeah, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a longer break here to get ourselves ready for our last 2 matches of the day. So make sure you do not touch that browser, as we will be right back with some more MEC action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ready for some more MEC? Well, hey, Cap. Did you know that we're gonna have a run back from last week, which is technically
Yes.
from week 1? It's about to happen right
Yes.
now.
Is it going to
That's
happen right now? This
it's
Cleveland State in Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Yeah,
Miami.
Miami. Yeah, Miami
Miami.
of Ohio. So, yeah, let's get ready to get right on into it. Let's do it. Getting ready to see who is going to be coming out first from Cleveland State and Miami. Getting ready to go head to head to kick things off between these two. Here we go. It's going to be Kirby and it is going to be Terry.
Now, this is a treat to behold just because we have seen this matchup before. We literally saw it last week, actually, I believe. And this Terry, very good at getting in, laying in that hurt, getting rid of that extra air that's in the bubble of Kirby. But Kirby does not make it a very easy task. They instantly inflate right again and bring the hurt right back to Terry.
That they do, but you can see Terry looking to try and even the numbers here, but Kirby still being able to apply a nice chunk of damage there and is going to force Terry off the stage again. But look at this go meter now active.
The go meter's there. You can push your advantage a little bit further here if you can find that moment, but check that out. Kirby, built like a brick house, goes ahead and sends him down under with that down B to finish things off. And now Kirby at triple digits, right? Terry, giving it a little footsies, giving a little toe game over there, saying, you know what, Kirby, you like to hit me with your toes? I'll hit you with mine. And then finishes things off with a punch with authority.
And not too much love loss either, though. I mean, 36%, that's not much to come back from again. So Terry able to get that revenge stock pretty early. And now Kirby off to the races, trying to increase that deficit. Now putting Terry into the 80 percentile, dealing a lot of damage in the upbeat on the recovery lands to deal a little bit more damage. As now you can see Kirby once again starting to control the pace of this game.
Kirby is putting in some work here, and you can see it yet again, just being able to lay in that hurt. And this is the problem that you actually have with this Terry, right? If you're not able to kind of get into your groove, find your rhythm, it becomes a very difficult task. And Kirby's a character that's hard to maintain the rhythm against just because of the fact that they can find moments to breathe, right? They can kind of they have that great recovery. They can kind of just float into the air. They can kind of space things out. They have a pretty nice dash attack that they can go for as well. Their up B, their down B is a threat that you always have to be recognizing of. Terry can't really find that moment to really just, sock it to this Kirby.
Well, right now you can see that Terry nearly about to get this stock with the forward throw, almost being able to confirm, but no, the off stage is going to go the way of Kirby here as they are able to deal out a little bit of extra damage. Now the forward throw again, still not enough to confirm that stock, and somehow Kirby continues to hang on.
Yeah, it's almost a case of deja vu with the way that turned about, but things still going in the favor of Kirby's way. They get him with the dash attack. Good DI to make sure that they do not fall victim there. That could have been it, but the feet will do the speaking. That back air from Kirby, the universal drop kick goes right into the back of Terry. Terry's going to be limping for a bit, back to the back, telling the teammates like, hey, that Kirby got hands.
Got hands and got feet and everything else in between. Kirby was doing a fantastic job, and not only that, but they kept it to 2 stocks. So already they are able to take a 2-stock lead over Cleveland State as we get ready to head into the next matchup. Who's going to be able to take on the little pink puff ball? It's going to be Mr. Game & Watch.
Mr. Game & Watch is not the pick. Yet again, I said this line earlier on today. Mr. Game & Watch versus Kirby is not a matchup I was really expecting on the day, but this Mr. Game & Watch has been so fun to be able to watch. I am very curious on how Kirby's going to approach the matchup, just because of the fact that Mr. Game & Watch, one of the big things that we've seen fundamentally, they like to fry up some eggs in that pan and toss them on out, give you a little bit of sausage as well, throw out those bombs and drop them on top of your dome. Does Kirby try to adopt to a bit more of a more aerodynamic strategy and risk having to take the gas being pumped up? Maybe not. They don't need to. They just played the neutral game and kicked Mr. Game and Watch's tail. What happened there?
I don't know. I didn't realize that Kirby had such knockback potential with their moves. I don't think them as like, the big heavy hitter, but apparently they are. I mean, they are able to come through, not only being able to really get eliminations onto Terry, but they took that first stock off of Game & Watch pretty quickly. And I don't think Game & Watch looked too kindly on that, as they are able to come through with the revenge stock, and now Kirby down to their last.
Yeah, this Game & Watch probably has a little bit of respect put onto the name on this Kirby, but that is a job well accomplished, because now, no matter what, after this, Miami gets to keep the advantage in terms of the stock differential to themselves. Kirby would love to increase that a little bit further. Mr. Game & Watch wants to be dissuader to that, and you can see the aggression possibly coming back, and not bad potential. Might be a little bit fearful for Mr. Game & Watch, as you can see them playing a little bit more defensive than what we've seen before, but then they immediately switch things back over to the offense.
Well, let's see if Kirby can try and just take one more stock off the Game & Watch, making it easy for their partner, as that back throw does land, forcing Game & Watch off stage. There goes the trampoline. They're able to recover, but the hammers put Kirby in the dirt, leaving them available to get their final stock taken. And Game & Watch, with only the cost of one stock, was able to take two off of Kirby.
Really clean game, really clean game, and you gotta watch out for Mr. Game & Watch for this very reason. That is actually a favored move. It's a habit of theirs that they do love to close out some of these stocks and whatnot with that hammer. It's very consistent, very simple, works against the entire roster. Why change a thing? Well, on the other side, Miami, Ohio, they gotta change something. They gotta see who's going into Mr. Game & Watch themselves, and it's gonna be the Ice Climbers. Are you ready for some decent combos here, Cap?
Oh, you already know I am. Again, I haven't really seen too much of the Ice Climbers. I've definitely seen more Game & Watch in my day than Ice Climbers, but with that being said, it should make for a very interesting matchup. Keep in mind, Game & Watch is down a stock here, and Miami looking to hold on to their lead currently only by one stock.
Yeah, by one stock indeed. Is Ice Climbers, once they get going, keep an eye on once they're able to start getting things going. They're kind of baiting out to see if they can get that freeze off. They get that freeze, they can actually just carry you all across the field here. This battlefield is actually a very, very good map for them to just carry you from one edge to the next. And Mr. Game & Watch, they have to be cautious over that. As you can see, the throws, now they're just desyncing. The throws still continuing to go out. And this is where it gets nasty. It's an onslaught of blows that just consistently come out. And you're going to get your stuff messed up here. Mr. Game & Watch got to figure out a way to hit both targets in an effective manner. Blow up some air. Drop some bombs. There it is. The mallet coming in. And Mr. Game & Watch still in for a troublesome time here. They're just trying to figure out a good way to approach this. It's so hard to get into the danger that is the Ice Climbers. These Ice Climbers are so disgustingly versatile about how they're able to chain about their combos.
Oh, and look at the back air, able to get that second stock off a Game & Watch, and they're at about 70%. That's not too bad, and already they're going right back after Game & Watch on their last stock.
Oh man, this is a very scary scenario to be inside of, because now Miss Game & Watch, the percentage is going to get racked up very quickly if you're not careful. You can see this Ice Climbers is filling themselves. This is traditional Ice Climbers, and look at this, Mr. Game & Watch. They kind of had to hit that eject button, get out of harm's way. You don't want the mitts up, you don't want the smoke. Nana there, they're going to spin their way back on in, and the defense has to be perfect. And you see Mr. Game & Watch, they understand that once they're back up onto the field, that is a hard matchup. They want to get rid of the stock as soon as possible, and they do just that as they get rid of the vital member of the Ice Climbers, taking down that stock from the Ice Climbers. But there is his ice, baby, nice coming out from the Ice Climbers.
Well, at least Game & Watch at the very least was able to get one stock, and they did. So again, not too much lost here. Again, they're going to be able to even things out in the scoreline if they manage to confirm Game & Watch. But if Game & Watch can't confirm yet another stock, then Miami will still be able to hold on to their one stock lead. But with the way the Ice Climbers have been playing, I don't know if this Game & Watch is going to be able to take another one off of them.
Oh man, there's your answer right there. Mallet to the face. Mr. Game & Watch, that wasn't in the code. That is not something that he was ready for. So Ice Climbers come out victorious inside of that. And that is the scary thing. Miami, Ohio. I do want to bring up the fact that in the past, I believe it was week two, actually, we saw the Ice Climbers actually come in and just sweep 4 members of a team in an instance. This is a raid boss that has just appeared early before they were ready. They weren't ready for the spawn timers of this thing. So let's see, Miami, Ohio. They're going to be standing here with this Ice Climbers. Who is the next challenger who appears?
Let's get ready to see coming from the side of Miami, or I'm sorry, coming from the side of Cleveland State. It's going to be Solid Snake.
I like this as an answer. You can actually do a lot of damage to Ice Climbers with the Solid Snake. We've actually seen it in the past. Solid Snake has had some troubles if they get caught by the Ice Climbers, but if they're able to play their game, playing danger close when there's 2 targets works out doubly as effective. Who knew?
And I really like this because for every grenade so far that I've seen Solid Snake throw out, Ice Climbers have just been throwing out the ice. They're trying to play Solid Snake at their own game here, keeping them at a distance, and now looking to close the gap as the mallets are going to work. And they are also going to be hit with a little bit of that util, but not enough. They can just shake that off and go right back after Solid Snake.
Yeah, this is right now, Solid Snake is like, dang, this is why I've never accepted any missions inside of the map, inside the mountains, right? It's just like, this is why these Ice Climbers are such a threat that you have to deal with. C4 almost being very tricky, but there's the mitts up. Good use, the explosion coming in just in time to keep them away. Those decent combos, they're insanely powerful. They are so oppressive, but they are very difficult to do, and Snake is doing a good job making them as difficult as possible as they continue to rain down grenade fire from up above, both sides in equal percentages at the current moment in time. As you can see, Snake just trying to play their zone game, try to play the explosives, try to show them that war does, it never changes. But with that, a mallet changes the thought, and all of a sudden, Snake's starting to rethink his arsenal.
And I don't know if it's unrelated or not. I mean, it's not really unrelated, but just watching, Solid Snake go to work really makes me want to go back and play Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid, I played back when the game actually released on the PlayStation 1, and it was just such a great game. And, I love watching Solid Snake use their taunt or whatever to go in and out the cardboard box. And, just watching Solid Snake go to work on the Ice Climbers is definitely bringing back a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah, but hey, look, the Snake got a trilogy coming up, looking over and mocking the Ice Climbers at this moment, being like, what games you guys got coming up here, huh? You got a remake of your games? Oh, you don't? That sucks to suck. That's what I imagine David Hayter saying that, right? Voice actor for Snake. That's all I want. I hear him saying that, and that's full send to me.
Here we are, we're going right back at it, and you can see Snake just trying to land these grenades, and Ice Climbers really just jumping over the obstacles, just trying to avoid the danger. Snake now going to the opposite side, lays down another grenade. Ice Climbers, though, not allowing Snake to get away, at least not too far, and it's really just been a game of cat and mouse between these two.
And it's been a great job being set up, right? It is a case of Tom and Jerry. And right now, Jerry is being played out by Snake at this moment in time, constantly setting up traps to bamboozle Tom. But hey, Ice Climbers, they find a way. They close the gap. And finally, Tom's able to get a hold of that pesky mouse. And now they're just continuing to lay in the pressure. Good use, yet again, of the explosives to interrupt the desync combos. Desync them manually yourself. But look at the damage that was done. 95% on arrival.
Yeah, and right now the Ice Climbers are looking really, really good. And not to mention, if they can get rid of this Solid Snake, they're going to be doing the rest of their team a huge favor. I mean, just being able to get rid of them so early, you got to remember this Solid Snake was such a problem and continues to be, as it will be Solid Snake to take down the Ice Climbers and shrink the gap that much closer between Miami, Ohio, and Cleveland State.
Just a great matchup there. Love to see it. I want to see more of it. We need to see more of the Snake versus Ice Climbers, because honestly, it's very exciting kind of seeing how the psychological play style changes, right? You saw Ice Climbers couldn't really get the rush down, but they were relentless in it. So now, Snake, you post up Miami, Ohio, what do you bring in? You have a 2 stock advantage at the current moment in time over the Snake. Do you bring in something that can quickly get rid of him? Well, they're going to bring in the Falco, somebody who's going to look to try and juggle him out of the arena.
You see, they can go ahead and try. Falco is speedy enough, but I'm afraid that speed could also get them in a little bit of trouble. But with that being said, Snake only does have 1 stock to work with. So we'll see if Miami can make the most of this. Again, this is going to be I don't know. I really don't know how this one's going to go.
I am not entirely sure myself, to be honest with you. As you can see, dropping out those grenades, Falco has a hard time in this, in the fact of Snake can just continuously zone him out with some of these projectiles, lay out some of the mines, play ledge defense. We could see a situation where Miami, they go for a little bit more of those side Bs to try and get in close to the Snake, but this is a dangerous part to be inside of, right? With these guided missiles constantly coming out, the grenades constantly coming out. Snake can play the aerial game and just juggle you with grenades from up above, be like an AC 130. And Falco doesn't have any air support. They can't call on the gang. They can't call on the Star Fox crew to come in and be like, guys, I need some cover fire. Bring in the X-Wings or something. There's none of that here.
Well, maybe Falco just simply doesn't need it, as they are able to take that final stock off of Solid Snake. And just like that, they're going to be able to go into the next round with all 3 of their stocks.
Full character advantage is huge inside of a crew battle, and it cannot be underestimated. And the last time that we saw these teams come together against each other, last week actually, where we got to see their run back from week number 1, hey, guess what happened? We saw a situation in which it was 1 character difference. It was a 3 stock advantage between both sides that ended up costing them inside the back end, where they had that Snake on the anchor that couldn't finish off Miami, Ohio. So my thing now is I'm looking at Miami, Ohio, and I'm like, all right, if you guys have this advantage, you're probably feeling like, all right, yeah, you know what? Week number 1, we did the same thing to them. We put them in there. We had that 1 character advantage. We kept that 3 stock, and hey, that worked out beautifully for us. They weren't able to finish us off. The damage was done. It does become a war of attrition as we get to the later stages.
Let's get ready to go into the next matchup and see what will be coming out to take on the Falco. And here we go. Coming from Cleveland State University, it is going to be a hero pick.
I do like this because hero style varies depending on the player. You can go for more of the buff debuff play style if you like. You can go for a little bit more zoning. You can actually mix and match if you want to. It does change up quite a bit. From the side of Cleveland State University, I do believe their player prefers the buff debuff style, where you're constantly going for the big moves. The big move that you're going to look for a lot from them is going to be that kaboom, but they're going to go for oomph every single time that they're able to see it. You're going to see them go for some sizz. You're going to see them go for a random snooze, actually, to try and just finish things out. So we're going to see a lot of that play style, I feel like, still coming out from Cleveland State University.
But I got to tell you, still one of the best hero plays I've ever seen was when Hero managed to snooze their opponent off stage and they just fell to their doom. I really hope we get more plays like that, because only Hero can make plays like that happen, you know? So again, I just really hope we get to see it. But in the meantime, I feel like Falco is a little bit more consistent than Hero. I feel like with Hero, you know, again, there's a little bit of that RNG to it, just, you know, a little bit. But, you know, sometimes they'll just show out and absolutely dominate, and then other times they just miss their mark. And where Falco, you know, again, has the highest pick rate of today without a doubt, and they've been pretty consistent across the board.
Yeah, I think the big thing to take note of too is I feel like Falco is keeping an eye. Stock is evened up, but this Falco is actually keeping an eye on exactly what the menu is, which actually takes a lot of skill to constantly look over and keep an eye on it, because you see their playstyles actually deferring. If they see something like the Kaboom or something like that pop up in their menu, they're actually staying up in the air out of range to make sure that the Kaboom will be wasted and it will be mana wasted. That is a resource taken off. This Falco is doing a very, very good job of reading what the heroes got going on very quickly, very swiftly. As you did see, I believe the snooze did hit, but it was a follow-up hit afterwards as Hero realized that Falco would have recovered afterwards.
Yeah, not to mention you can see the Falco really rushing in now that they know that Hero has low mana. And with that missed attempt, that is only going to be another opportunity here because they know they don't have enough mana. So Falco just going to be going right into the face of this Hero. There goes the Psych Up, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. It should only take just one more solid hit from Falco to take this stock, but somehow Hero was holding on for a while, but that back air will do the trick.
Yeah, you could even see it. Hero actually in the menu got a bounce off as well just to try. They felt the pressure. They were panicking a little bit, a little flustered up. And this is where it becomes a dangerous game because you also have to manage not only looking at that menu, but you have to manage that mana. And Falco's taking full advantage of it now at 120%. Any hit can KO, and it's a stock to a stock now as a Hero. Spent 55% of the HP bar, but check out Falco going straight up to the air to give an aerial assault. And Hero, not used to having to deal with an opponent that's so swift to take him up into the air like this Falco.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm surprised we haven't seen, one of those juggles go all the way up into the sky, but you know what? Falco doesn't need it. Just a nice up tilt to go, or rather an up smash to finish things out there. And just like that, Falco still gonna be holding on strong after 2 bouts back to back.
Cleveland State University, they're on their last character. Last time they made a run of the gauntlet on their last character, but the last character last time was Snake. So Snake's already gone. That is a big anchor that is off of the field because they had to come out early to deal with the Ice Climbers threat because that was the best option that you get. And I think they made the right call bringing out the Snake at that point. But now they're in a situation where they got a Falco that they have to deal with that's on their last stock, right? Falco, while they are not a heavy hitter, they can quickly build up percentage if they get a combo going and make sure to punish you if you underestimate them or let them have a moment to breathe. Miami, they're going to look to put in the pressure. Here it is, a Bayo to bring things up. We are going for a aerial combat here inside of our possible final stock between these two teams.
It is so funny because when you were going through the analytics of, Falco just, not having too much knockback potential, but are able to build up a massive amount of damage, the first thing that came to my mind was Bayonetta. Like, that's exactly how I think of Bayonetta as well. Again, don't have the greatest knockback potential, but they can just add on the damage so quickly, and they are so skilled in the air as well. And, I'm just thinking about Bayonetta. Never did I think that the Bayonetta was going to be coming out to finish things up here for the side of Cleveland State. Keep in mind, Falco still only has 1 stock remaining, but still they have 2 players waiting in the wing, pun intended, to try and come out and close out this Bayonetta pick.
Remember, Miami has a couple of players. They have their Mii Brawler actually still sitting in the back as well. If the Mii Brawler is going to be a part of this crew battle, that could be a very scary situation to be inside of. Falco wants to get rid of another stock here if they possibly can, as that will just continue that war of attrition that I was talking about. That would be constantly going on. Good recovery coming in from the Bayo. Going to go ahead and get knocked into the blast zone. And there you go. Falco, you've done your job. The war of attrition strategy can commence at this moment. Cleveland State University is down to just 2 stocks. And now if Falco were to drop, you got 3 whole stocks to deal with 2 of Bayos.
And you see, that's the thing with Bayonetta that can sometimes be tricky because, again, I mean, look at where Falco's at. Look where they are in terms of damage. Nearly at 150%. Now they're there, but Bayonetta not able to confirm. It takes just a little bit more, and there is that little bit extra to confirm that final stock. And now Bayonetta is going to have to use their 2 stocks to take down 6 from Miami Esports.
Miami Esports is in for such an interesting time here, I feel like, just because they can kind of go with whatever they want. They can go for something that's heavy hitting. They could play a strategy if they want to. They could just bring out the Mii Brawler and just say, hey, yo, we're bringing out the Mii Brawler. They go for Little Mac at this stage, which, you know what? It's fine if you're still thinking of that war attrition viewpoint where all you need is 1 punch to knock out Bayo, and you can do that consecutively 2 times. That's great. So, you know what? I'm not upset about it. It is going to be a hard job for Little Matt to actually finish things up with a Bayo who's going to want to just kind of juggle them around and play where Little Mac is at their weakest when their feet are not touching the ground.
absolutely. I was thinking the same thing, but right now, so far, Little Mac has done a decent job, of staying on the ground for the most part. I mean, they have given up a couple of up tilts and juggles, and now the KO punch is activated, and really that's all they need. But look at Bayonetta able to hit the back air, sending Little Mac right into the stage and right down into the blast zone. That was a great play.
Beautiful stuff to be able to come about, but now Bayo needs to be a bit cautious. They are at that 100%, just about to enter into the triple digits, and there you go. You are light as can be, and it is quick for Bayo to get knocked into the stratosphere with one punch from Little Mac. Little Mac, like I was talking before, it's that war of attrition now, and every single stock is a limited resource that you cannot spare.
And Little Mac is insanely light. They're very speedy, one of the speediest characters in the game. Their recovery, not that great, but at the same time, their knockback potential is insane. So that's the one thing Bayonetta really has to worry about, is because we know Bayonetta somewhat lacking in knockback, but Little Mac, they have knockout for days.
Yeah, no, they are. All they need is one punch. That's all you need. That's all you need to get. The witch time comes in. Nice dash into a fist from another dimension, bringing it on in. And now, one stock left from Cleveland State University, Miami, Ohio, on their last player, where you're getting shades of the previous week, where Snake was the person in this situation, where they were running through multiple members. They took out two whole members by themselves, but had to spend a stock each. And then it came down to the final player, in which it was able to spell the demise of Cleveland State University. I'm getting a case of deja vu right now, Cap.
Not to mention, earlier on today, we saw the Bayonetta from Ashland, I think, take like 7 stocks. And again, caster math might not be on point, but I got to tell you, this is going to be their hardest bout. Not only are they at a 2-stock differential, but it's going to be the Me Brawler from Miami Esports. And we've already seen how devastating this player can be.
Yes, we have. They're warming up. They're getting their fists. The blood is pumping between the two. And now it's going to be a battle of in-your-face supremacy. As you can see, they're just waiting, seeing if they're going to go for those dash attacks. This Meatball is actually reading out a lot of what they're going for. Immediately, as soon as a dash attack comes through, says, all right, cool. Primary Lotus and the bowling ball. The ultimate combo. And now Bea, not appreciating that, is going to finally find a flurry of dash attacks of their own.
Yeah, that they are, and now they're looking to try and get the lead back in their favor, and they do. Again, it's still relatively even, but honestly, I don't think the bowling balls are going to be as effective against Bayonetta here. Bayonetta is able to just move off stage out into the air and avoid a lot of that danger. So again, we're going to have to see a lot of that in-your-face melee exchange coming from this Me Brawler, and again, maybe a few more of those primary Lotuses couldn't hurt either.
Yeah. I think we could see quite a bit of that. It is a command throw, right, where you're able to just kind of grab a hold. The witch time coming in, beautifully done from the Bayo, knocks out a stock. They're at 76% that they had to spend for that one. Primary Lotus is going to be able to connect, and already up to triple digits. They're going to go ahead and hit him in the chin. 2 stocks remaining from Miami Esports. Yet again, a valiant effort at the end by Cleveland State University. But history repeats itself as they get them down to the final stock, and Miami, the resources just aren't there for the side of Cleveland State, and Miami takes full advantage.
That they do. But with that being said, that is going to wrap things up for that series. But don't worry, we're going to have another one right after this short break. So do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with our last match of the day right here at the Midwest Esports Conference.
Hello, welcome on back to the MEC. We're getting ready for our final match, and it is time for a little bit of a run back. I believe this is the last run back that we have to throw at y'all from week number 1, where we didn't get to see all the matches that happened. So we're going to finish off our day by taking a look back, a peek behind the curtain, and see what week 1 was looking like. I'm Travis. I'm joined here with Captain Ahsoka. Are you ready, Cap? Are you ready to finish off our day strong by taking a path down memory lane?
Oh, absolutely. Again, we're going to be seeing Cleveland State come right back out. And, we saw them unfortunately drop to Miami just now here in week 2. But let's see how they did in week number 1 as we get ready to get this matchup underway. Going back in time to see how this one will unfold. It is going to be Cleveland State University taking on Ashland. And we're going to start things back out with, you guessed it, a Falco versus a Zero Suit Samus.
And versus the Zero Suit, this could be a very interesting time period for you here. The ZSS is pretty disgusting. Oh, I believe, was there a check that went wrong here? I'm guessing it was just a check that went wrong there. There was some sort of technical difficulty. We'll get that sorted on out here. Okay, we're back into it. Let's see what we got coming out between these two as the ZSS. It's a very interesting matchup to see going in here. I hope you like to be counter coming out from Cleveland State University, as it does look like they're doing a quick button check for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, everything looks fine and dandy, but here we go. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, we're getting debated over here, We're thinking, is it a button test? Are they good to go? Like, what's happening over here? But regardless, if this is the matchup that we're going to see, Zero Suit Samus versus Falco, I think this is going to be very interesting just because I am a big fan of Zero Suit Samus. And, the fact that we have just been seeing Falco just dominate all day today, it's going to be interesting to see how this Zero Suit Samus is going to stack up.
I think the big thing for me inside of this too, I think the first matchup was actually supposed to be a legitimate, but there was a button error that was going on with their controller more than likely, because the Falco did drop off at a weird angle and just KO'd. So I do believe there was like a little bit of confusion about that, but I like ZSS into Falco. I like the Plasma Whip confirm that can come out from ZSS. It is a character that when you get to see somebody who's very skilled at it, it is very oppressive, especially with the fact of how you can hit confirm with this character over and over and over again.
Well, let's see if the Falco meta will hold strong here. As you can see, they did get put into the dirt, but nothing made much of it. Meanwhile, Falco is going to have the lead momentarily here on this first stock, doing pretty well. And Zero Suit Samus trying to get that Plasma Whip to land, and it does. But still not much doing yet from either side here. Both are still in the red, but no stocks taken just yet. But that up tilt into the up air could have been what they needed, but they're not able to confirm.
No, they cannot confirm it. And it's the tricky situation to be inside of. They finally get the confirm, get ZSS out of here. Ashland University taking an early lead for themselves, looking to see if they can get this Falco to continue applying that said pressure. Very evenly matched up between the two of them, both players really filling each other out, and this is just the revenge KO. It looks like ZSS wants it to be such, but the side special's enough to get back in, but the Plasma Whip's enough to knock him back out.
There we go. And again, pretty much an even matchup here. It is all even. I mean, 7%, that's basically nothing. As you can see, we're already, going back and forth between the two. And now back to center stage we go. And really, it's just been a lot of Falco dodge, duck, dip, diving, and dodging away from a lot of these Plasma Whips.
Yeah, these Plasma Whips have not been able to find their intended mark at the current moment in time. It's fine, though, because you're using those to fill out, right? You're trying to fill out, and when you do connect with one of them, that's when you're able to hit in there. And you can see they're just throwing them out. They're not throwing them with the intent of, oh, I'm going to hit you with this. It is, I'm going to continuously throw this out. If you step too far forward, it's a hit confirm into something else, right? Like, you can confirm that into just about anything else. You can make this something where you can lay in even more damage as a result. So they say, you know what? While we're making our approach, might as well make the area that is in front of me danger. Do not cross this line. You will regret it. And you can see that range is coming into play on that platform where Falco just takes a couple hits from that Plasma Whip.
And now we're going right back to center stage. Falco not looking too great here. They're in the 100 percentile. They're in the knockback potential, and there it goes. They get sent to the blast zone, and now they are on their final stock. Looking to try and get a little revenge here, but Samus, or Zero Suit Samus rather, still looking very healthy. And finally, we do see the up tilts now going into the forward air. Back off stage. This could be the opportunity Falco needed, but Zero Suit Samus on the recovery. Oh, too good, but that is not going to stop Falco. They're sending Zero Suit Samus right back off stage again.
Yeah, the crazy thing is ZSS has some fantastic recovery, so you're going to have to find a finishing blow that's going to be very decisive here. He isn't able to find it just yet, and that's where it gets dangerous still, though, because you still have 2 stocks to spare with the ZSS. You can continue to just chip away with this Plasma Whip, and even if you lose another stock here, ZSS, it's going to be fine with that because the damage, the chip, the foundation for a KO is there for them. They're at 120%, and they are starting to just pile on more and more damage. You are completely fine with chipping away. And if you find that extra KO, that's fantastic. But it is going to be a 1-for-1 now, stock to stock. But 50% of Falco's HP had to be traded to achieve it.
And now you can see Zero Suit Samus going right back to work here, looking to just end this one here and now and try and get the dub with just 1 stock to spare. Meanwhile, Falco not going to be going down without a fight. Again, constantly trying to go for those up tilts and up airs, but they fall victim yet again to that Plasma Whip. But look at this. Falco off the recovery, on the wake up, able to find that up tilt, but not going to be able to follow that up. They're just trying their best to avoid that Plasma Whip as much as they can.
I love the way that the Falco is trying to adapt. It's a hard way to be able to adapt to it, but look at that carry on, immediate punish on the side special. That's what you want to see. If Falco is going to go for that side special, it is unsafe if it misses. So what happens is immediately turn it around, hit them to carry them over a little bit further off the edge, and then immediately spike them down into the blast zone. Really, really clean stuff in the ZSS, and now they have an opportunity to create an extended lead for their team. Let's see if they'll be able to make it happen. It'll be Ashland's next member to come up, and it's that DK.
Oh, yes. I've been waiting to see Donkey Kong for quite some time. I was really upset that I didn't see any Donkey Kong last week, and it's really, really funny because, again, Donkey Kong has been the center of some discussion. Again, there was a time, a brief moment, not too long ago, it was actually during the summer, where the pick rate for Donkey Kong was going through the roof. I mean, Donkey Kong was making a resurgence, especially in, a lot of the heavy mains, and I was really having fun seeing it. But that type of hype, that momentum has really died down for DK. And the pick rate, unfortunately, has gone down just a little bit. But, again, they are making a statement as to why Donkey Kong is such a good heavy. So let's see if the DK pick will work in the favor of Ashland, as they already get that stock with the thunderclap. DK all day. They will take that final stock from Zero Suit Samus.
Yes. So here they are performing for you. It is time. The DK rap at full blast. It's in stereo right now for this player as Ashland is feeling themselves. They got that DK rap going in. And y'all, I'm ready. I'm ready to see this DK. So I'm scrolling up that arm. He's warmed up. It's even. It's head to head. 12-12. Bayonetta versus DK.
Yeah, Donkey Kong is actually like my favorite Nintendo character and like my favorite classic Nintendo game, if it can be considered that, is Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong, again, I remember, when back in my younger years when I actually broke my thumb, I was playing Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Color, and I can only use like my 2 fingers. I can use my index and my middle finger, but I couldn't use my thumb to play. So again, just some good times. I'm getting a lot of nostalgia from today.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's good to see. He's the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He's finally about to kick some tail. So, hey, here he is spinning around. But unfortunately for him, even though he's here to kick some tail, Bayonetta's the one doing the kicking right now, as this DK's percentage has been climbing up. And this Bayonetta with that witch time, brutal, misses out on being able to send him flying. But DK is having a hard time dealing with how nimble this Bayonetta is.
I mean, let's be honest, any heavy would be having a difficulty keeping up with Bayonetta. They are just so speedy, they're so quick, and they're just really good at building up the damage. But again, you just give one opening to DK and it can be devastating, especially now that they're enraged. I mean, this could be very dangerous here. Bayonetta still has to confirm, but you got to keep in mind, You know, DK is just looking a lot worse for wear as they finally get that first stock off, and Bayonetta looking really strong right now.
Bayonetta is just constantly putting in the hurt. It's hard for DK, as you were talking about. It's a very hard thing to be able to deal with. You're like, what is this? So right, this is not something that DK ever had to train for. Powered up that punch, took a gamble actually there, just throwing it out raw like that. But you can see the eyes are popping out of the head of DK as they are just constantly getting hit over and over again. But they're going to helicopter their way back on into the stage, go back into a neutral stand, missing out on the throw. They're trying to charge up that fist, and there you go. It is 2-2. It is all tied up.
Yep, that it is. At least they were able to get one stock off of Bayonetta, which I assume is going to lead into a revenge stock. But DK needs a little bit of extra oomph in order to confirm onto them. They are able to make it back on stage, but not for long. They get sent to the blast zone, and now they are down to their last stock.
And DK on the last thought, did you have the ability to knock Bayonetta off here in 2 consecutive blows if Bayonetta plays carelessly? I want to see if DK can punish how nimble this Bayonetta is, right? The Bayonetta is constantly looking for these dash attacks. Get a headbutt in there. Get something to be able to punish this Bayonetta. The problem is Bayonetta's going in and dashing and not being punished as a result from it. And you can see they're just carrying DK around the map. DK doesn't get a say-so on where they are going to end up being. You need to find out a way to put them down, but with which time it's not looking good for DK.
Oh, it most certainly is not. But again, you know, Bayonetta, you know, not the heaviest character. So again, just one solid hit from DK should be enough to get a stock here. But that's the problem, trying to land that hit. Meanwhile, they take the forward throw and they yeet Bayonetta all the way into the blast zone.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my DK. Put him on the shoulder, yeet him off. Goes ahead, lays in the hurt. You had enough of you dashing around. It's time to go for a wild ride. And, DK is all about it. Is going to be able to shoot their shots and call them, but now it's Bayonetta who has the advantage on the percentage, just going to go ahead and send them flying. Those guns ain't going to be able to hit. DK comes back onto the field, but the eyes justly leaving the skull of DK as it gets sent flying with a critical hit coming out from that Bayonetta. What a great display.
I mean, honestly, the DK did its job. I mean, they took 3 stocks and then they lost 3 stocks. So it was an even trade when you look at it. So again, no love lost for DK. I think they did a great job and they did a good job representing Donkey Kong picks everywhere. But let's get ready to head into the next matchup and see who the next character will be. It's going to be the Mii Fighter coming from Ashland University. They're bringing out this Mii Fighter early.
So to make sure you know this is a Mii brawler. This is not the Miami, Ohio that we normally see.
I know. This is Ashland.
This is Ashland's. This is somebody who's completely different. The Mii brawler is actually the person who's been recently playing Pyramithra, actually. So this is actually an adaptation from them going back to a character that they were playing. They were playing this back in the LAN. So this is yet again, to reiterate, a week 1 matchup, and this is from where they were still playing the Mii brawler consistently, it seemed like. Though it's still a backup character for them if they need be, it's not the character we've normally seen from them.
Oh, also keep in mind, don't forget that Ashland has a Bayonetta pick of their own that is still waiting in the wing to get their turn. And that Ashland Bayonetta was without a doubt the biggest contribution from their team in their previous win. So again, you're going to have to keep your eyes open for when that Bayonetta comes out, because again, they were responsible for taking 7 stocks from their previous opponent. So again, a lot to look forward to in this matchup. Still 10-9 in the favor of CSU.
Good stuff for them. But Ashland, they do have this Mii brawler trying to lay into hurt. Doesn't have that primary Lotus. They go for that flaming kick instead to lay in a little bit more hurt. It's a little bit of a difference of preference on the side special to come about, that side B, but seeing them go ahead, go for it. Good kick. What a read from Ashland there. Noticing that the Bayonetta was going to go for something a little bit trickery off to the side. Even back up 9-9.
there we are. And you know, again, I really didn't know which way that was going to go for a second because it looked like they just traded hits and it was looking really, really close. But now let's see who the next pick will be coming from CSU. The Bayonetta now gone, so that is less of a worry for Ashland, but it is going to be Mr. Game & Watch coming from CSU.
Mr. Game & Watch coming in. This is a troublesome opponent to have to deal with. It is not something that most people are accustomed to. Like you said, we did have a very short time period where Mr. Game & Watch was the game to watch. But now, hasn't found that same success, but has found some success here inside the MEC. This pick has been pretty devastating, but this Meat Brawl is actually taking a lot of heat over to them, already building up the percentage. The Mr. Game & Watch has not been able to actually lay in a single hit to this Meat Brawler.
Nope, not yet. Right now, this Me Brawler doing a fantastic job until finally some updrafts do manage to land. And now Game & Watch slowly but steadily making a little bit of a comeback here, dropping bombs right on Me Brawler's dome piece there. And still Game & Watch in the danger, very much in the deep red now, you know, at 125%. And out come those familiar bowling balls. You do not want to get hit with one of those.
Nope, that is not the game plan either. You don't want to also catch breakfast. Mr. Game & Watch is happy to serve and will continue to lay in a good amount of heart. Percentages even. Parachuting back on in. Watch out for the bombs to be able to come about. Giving a nice little mitts up on the defense, but goes straight through the middle. And good block, good read on the hammer to actually come across. Make sure they don't get stuck into the dirt. But that, Mr. Game & Watch, so devastating whenever they're able to just send you flying like that.
And what a comeback, too. It was going all Me Brawler there on the first stock, but somehow, some way, Game & Watch managed to turn things around and are going right after this second stock, serving up lunch, and Game & Watch is cooking. As now, look at this, they're nearly able to bring this Me Brawler into the red on their second stock.
So good from them. And this is the scary thing. If you cannot figure out a way to finish them off, this is the concern that you really have to have with Me Brawler, right? Is how are you finishing off this stock, right? Are you going to be able to spike them down? Are you going to send them flying? Do you have the not bat power intended? Well, there you go. The answer is there. Finally found that knockout hit. But look at how much it cost him. Triple digits for the Me Brawler. You need to figure out a way to get momentum swinging back your way because Mr. Game & Watch has downloaded the patch. They know your game.
Yep, and all it's going to take is one bomb to the face, and now Me Brawler on their last stock, getting a little antsy there, and they're getting punished already. They tried to go straight for Mr. Game & Watch, and Game & Watch able to turn things around really quickly. Looking to add up into these combinations again, sending that updraft right up to the platform. Able to land one, but not the other. And now Me Brawler trying to find an opening, but the Game & Watch, again, not giving them many opportunities.
No, the Game & Watch is doing such a good job of just constantly figuring out exactly what they're going to go for. Look at this, just constantly hitting them with the updraft. Time to serve up. Goes ahead, continues it on, goes for the hammer, misses on it. Good punish coming out from this Me Brawler as they continue to survive the onslaught. They're on their last slot, and they need to figure out a way to send this Game & Watch packing right now to try and make it to where the lead isn't too much for this Game & Watch. And go off the field. That is dangerous territory, and you will be punished as you step into the minefield and get into the blast zone.
Yep, well, there you go. I mean, they decided to go for it all, and they ended up losing it all. They lost their stocks, and they will go down. Game & Watch, though, able to come through strong and still have 2 stocks to their name, still holding on as we get ready to go into the next matchup. Now, let's get ready to see who Ashland will be bringing to try and take on a Game & Watch. So let's see what the pick is going to be as we get ready to head into this next match.
I'm wondering if it's going to be a heavy hitter. Oh, it's the Bayonetta from Ashland now. So Bayo,
It's their heaviest hitter.
Here we go. So Ashland, they grab their Bayo. They say, all right, cool, bet. You have a Bayo on your team too, right? You know what's about to happen, right? It's time. It's showtime for the Bayo.
And honestly, this might be, you know, their cleanup hitter right here. This might be their strongest player because, again, I'm still thoroughly impressed with the last performance we saw from this Bayonetta from Ashland. Let's see if they can replicate their successes. So far, Game & Watch, you know, not giving them many opportunities to strike, but with Bayonetta, all you really need is just one.
Yeah, yeah. You need one opportunity to be able to carry out a flurry of blows to constantly put in the aggression. But Game & Watch is doing a good job reading the Bayo. And remember, we were talking about it, right? You look at Cleveland State University; they have a Bayo as well. This is one of those things in a crew battle. How important it is when you're on a team like this. Yes, when you're on the field like this, you are playing by yourself, but outside of the game, your teammates, they are your best practice partners that you can have. And having another Bayo actually on your team gives a little bit of information that the Mr. Game & Watch is already prepared for, because there's not a lot of versatility. Like, there's not a lot of change that comes out from a Bayonetta's game plan, right? They are always going to go for a very similar strategy. They want to go in, they want to dash in, and they want to constantly juggle you up through the air. They want to hit you with that witch time and hit you with a big move. And that's the combo. That is the tech. Mr. Game & Watch doing a good job going through this, as they kind of have a forecast of what the Bayo would like to go for.
Absolutely, and also you got to consider that Game & Watch has a little bit more knockback than Bayonetta does. Again, Bayonetta, they have to rely on really, adding up that damage percentage, unless they land like a witch time. But when Game & Watch brings out the hammers, that's really all the knockback you need.
Yeah, stop hammer time is the name of the game. But hey, look, it's time to heal over, as Bayonetta goes ahead, gets a KO with authority. But Game & Watch, they're like, you know what? I've already done my job. I've already put in the hurt. Bayonetta, now they're just wanting to finish off the stock cleanly if they can. So that way, Ashland University, they are in a better situation going throughout the rest of this, because remember, this is their second to last player. That Bayonetta does not want to go. You're in that dangerous territory where you start talking about limited stocks, limited resources to be able to find success in the crew battle. And what just happened?
Bayonetta went all the way up and took Game & Watch far beyond the reaches of the blast zone. So again, that was a fantastic job by Bayonetta. Honestly, had they gone any higher, I think they might have taken themselves out as well. I mean, that was 2 elimination animations going up top, and for a while there, they were just completely beyond the realm of view. So again, Bayonetta, getting some off-screen success taken care of, as now Game & Watch will be down, and they are down to 2 stocks. But we have already seen this Bayonetta from Ashland University do a lot more with a lot less. So here we go into the next matchup, and it will be the hero pick coming from CSU.
Yeah, CSU finds themselves hero in this opportunity. We did just get done talking about one of the things that we do love seeing about hero. The CSU hero does tend to like to do the buff/debuffs style gameplay, which can be effective inside of a matchup like this if you're able to get some good hits in. Snooze right off the get-go? Hello?
And now
a kaboom?
Oh, and now look at this. Here comes Whack as well. Not able to actually land that one, but oh my goodness, what a start for Hero. Again, just being able to land a lot of these abilities. And now another kaboom, but look at the mana now, all but depleted, but it doesn't matter. That stock is gone quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Bayonetta got hit with 3 moves. That was it. That was 3 moves. You got hit with the snooze. You got hit with the kaboom. And then he just said, all right, I'll just take you out with the sword itself. Goes into being metallic. Time to taunt. Time to be a little bit fancy with it. And immediately, Hero is going to go ahead, hit up a little bit more damage. Bayo not happy with exactly how things just turned out with this Hero. And this Hero, 3 stocks available. The snooze coming in sends them flying, but it's just damage to be laid.
My goodness, and there goes the snooze again. Almost landed another time. That would have been like 3 snoozes back to back. But regardless, here comes the sizz, and now a little bit of oomph. Look, they're thinking about it. They sent the snooze out again. Oh, they're getting absolutely cheeky now as Bayonetta just tries to take at least 1 stock off a Hero, and a Hero still not going down.
Able to just bounce back up onto the stage. Almost got pushed off by Bayo there. Good stuff. Good selection of abilities coming out from Hero. Being very cognizant. And there it is. That is game 4 Hero. And Ashland University, they are down to their last player against 2 of CSU.
Yep, only 1 remains. Let's get ready to see who that last player is coming from Ashland to take on this Hero who, by the way, had a great performance against Bayonetta. Didn't drop a single stock. And it's going to be the Incineroar.
So this is hard. if you're Cleveland State University, right? The Incineroar, first and foremost, against Hero, it is not an easy matchup because Hero can change his playstyle to being much more of that aggressive style. He could go for a bit more zoning if he wants as well. And Incineroar doesn't have fantastic tools to actually get in on you. So it becomes a very tricky situation, and there's a bunch of different combos that can come about that you do not want to catch if you're Incineroar. If you actually do that move right there where you just spin around with the lariat, it's actually a very, very scary situation to be if you whiff that, because you can instantly get punished.
Incineroar just got sent into the blast zone at 66%. Keep in mind, Incineroar is not squishy by any means. Incineroar, is not exactly a heavy, but it takes a little bit of extra oomph to send them into the blast zone. And again, Hero came out strong. I just am really surprised that Incineroar got sent to the blast zone at 66%.
And that's the scary thing that's actually about it, right? Is Hero can hit you very, very disgustingly hard at a moment's notice. It is this character. I love the design of the character. I think he's got one of those very unique kits that's very fun to actually just see and witness. But when you're an opponent going against this, there's a bag of tricks that they're constantly putting their hand into. And look at this, off into the corner, zooms in, immediately zooms out. But it's A-okay because you're spending resources. Ashland University, they own 2 stocks right now. You can kind of just continue to do what you're doing. This Incineroar, we've seen it time and time again. There's been so many anchor Incineroars, but we haven't seen an Incineroar be able to have that performance to close out the gap because their tools can be very limiting.
I think it's so funny that we have seen Snooze come out quite a few times, and Incineroar has just avoided it like the plague, not allowing what happened to Bayonetta to happen to them. Meanwhile, you do see the up tilt does land into Snooze. It hits. There's the forward slash, and that will be the second stock now gone from Incineroar.
I don't know if you knew this, but Sing has like a 55% accuracy. That's what we just got to witness. They hit at 55% accuracy. Once it finally hits, you're in for a rough go of things. Incineroar is in trouble. Ashland University on their last stop. They got the peel off 1 stock away from Hero here, but they still have another one to deal with, and 3 stocks after from Cleveland State University. And that is a tall order to have to ask for, as you know that there's all sorts of different heroes they could select, all sorts of different characters that they could pick on up. They have all sorts of different resources to be able to go about. And there is the Snooze off the stage with you. Goodbye, Incineroar.
That's insane. How long does that Snooze even last? Because they were able to fully charge that up again. That's how you play Hero. That was a hero pick, top notch. And honestly, that hero was not RNG. They were very concise with the abilities they were using when they were using them, and it was truly impressive. That was a great hero pick and a great way to end things out for CSU.
Absolutely. Great stuff to be able to end it on. And hey, that was it from week number 1 that we got to see the recap to finish off the end of week number 4 for ourselves. We're getting through all of the season here. And it feels so crazy to be like, oh, yes, we are still in. We have gotten to week number 4 already. But it's been exciting. It's been great. It's been great getting to see the players be able to grow throughout this event, as we've seen a lot of growth come out throughout the event. But hey, yo, that's it for us. MEC is done for the day, and Smash is good to go. We'll catch you guys same place, same time next week. Be sure to be there to be able to see more of some high-octane Smash action. Take care.
Sorry.